Hey guys, welcome to another episode of 4PlayerAnimecast. This is episode 208, just 2 days away from Halloween on the 29th of October here. Slightly going into fall. I hope that everybody has gotten their flu shots by now or are planning to get it. But yeah, we're over here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's a
Over on.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
that is true.
Yeah,
nobody needs
we just
medicine.
lost all viewership possible. We're banned on Parlor now too, so
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna be banned on Twitter now because Elon Musk has also taken over that as well.
no, dude, that's to the betterment of mankind or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just scream the N-word on Twitter now, so it's
Yeah.
an improved
It's
platform,
great.
obviously. It's that's very good.
Yeah. But anyways,
Actually, I think
we're
they
all
just banned a bunch of more people,
That's
like
crazy.
the
gotta
Babylon Bee as well, which was not funny,
gotta
by the way.
gotta please the advertisers. But anyways, we are all here. I am your host, Spire, and I am here with my compatriots here today, Near,
Yeah.
Toast,
Ah,
and Dark.
Hello.
All right, but before we start off our second round of reviews, again, this season I believe we are only going to have 4 total reviews. So this is our second set. So we're only really going to have 2 more episodes because afterwards we're going to have obviously our awards show as well as our winter preview show, or I guess it'll be our winter preview show into our awards show, I believe. Um, so because we're gonna have that extra episode, we're not gonna have as many preview episodes. So we're gonna try to run through as many series, relevant series as possible before then. But yeah, before we get into that, we're gonna do very brief past 2 weeks. So how were your past 2 weeks, Near?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, been grinding out a lot of Apex recently.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that grind.
Yeah, season is ending. The
Uh-huh.
new season's coming up in like 2 days, 3 days, something like
Mhm.
that. Looks fun. The new legend looks cool. Um, the new map looks new. I don't know. It looks very busy. But
Uh-oh, bros, gamers are gonna come after you for saying that the new Legend's cool.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, gamers are very all I'll say is gamers are totally not transphobic at all.
Yeah, we only have the best trans representation in video game to date.
Yeah,
Uh,
but yeah. Other than that, I've been playing Gotham Knights with Dark.
Oh, okay.
The new funny new Batman game. That doesn't run too great, but it is very fun.
how's Bald Boy in the game?
Bald Boy, what are you saying?
Robin, dude.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't
You
see
remember
that.
I
bit.
forgot.
The
I forgot he
ball-
called him Bald Boy. He's fun. Robin's really fun actually. I was playing I started off playing a lot of like Red Hood, who's also very fun. But I've been playing a lot of Robin. He's cool. He's cool. But yeah, that game's fun. Um, but yeah, other than that, not too much. A little bit of Shadowverse here and there. Um, game's kind of fucked up right now.
You
Though
say that every time.
when isn't it really?
Yeah.
But
Surprise.
yeah, the way Shadowverse is right now is like if you like stop playing for more than like 2 or 3 days and then you come back, it's like everything's different. Like the meta has totally shifted. The meta has shifted probably like 4 or 5 times, like this expansion alone, which is very unusual for Shadowverse. But yeah, other than that, not too much. It's
Okay.
pretty calm.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Thank you very much, Near. What about you, Dark?
I too have been playing a lot of obviously a lot
Shadowverse?
of Gotham. No, I haven't played that shit since like Bat Deck was fucking like tops. Cheesy as fuck. Actually, I think I played that before there were like any expansions, and then that was it. I think I stopped before any expansions came out. Um, Nah, I've been playing a lot of Gotham Knights as well. That game is like a true. I think the best way to describe it is that game is a true like 6 out of 10 or something. Like
Yeah.
it is fucked up. It is
But it's
really
fun.
janky, but it is really fun. It is not like an IGN 6 out of 10 where it's like, the game's just shit. Like it has a lot of really fun stuff in it. Really really fun co-op. Decent story. Some fun like CW-esque dialogue. So been cool. Other than that, been playing some, Call of Duty and Overwatch 2. I've been grinding that. I haven't touched Apex because, I disagree with their new hero. So
Yeah.
I'm not playing that game anymore. I'm boycotting it actually because a trans person exists in the like super far future. So
GG.
yeah, I don't think I can do that anymore. Time to call it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just waiting for the new season of that. So
Okay.
yeah, I've been
Okay.
playing a
Pretty
lot of
good.
Modern Warfare since it came out 2 days ago, and a lot of Overwatch because that game is fun, and no one can tell me that the old fucking loot box system was better than the current store.
I mean, the
The
issue is like,
getting the loot
yeah.
boxes, like
So
getting
the
free
issue
stuff, like
is
that's
the issue is like with
is that there's no
Overwatch
avenue
2
to
right
like
now.
earn
There's
shit.
literally there's no progression system at all. There's literally nothing. Like
Yeah, it's just
if
the
you're
battle
not
pass.
if you're not buying the battle pass, like you're literally not getting anything for playing the game. And
Oh, okay.
people can turn around and go, "Oh, well, if you
You
do
get
your
your 60
weeklies,
points a week,
if you do your
bro.
weeklies,
You can
you can get
afford a legendary in
60
2
you can get
years.
60 coins a week." Spar, you get 60 coins a week. I want you to like just ballpark, just guess how much does a legendary skin cost? How many coins do you think a legendary skin costs?
6,000.
I'm gonna guess 20,000.
It's
No,
so
it's
you get
10K.
you get
Or
60
20K.
coins a
2K.
week, right?
Yeah.
It's 1,900 coins
Oh
for
my
one
God.
skin.
Yeah.
That's
from
what
one
190.
legendary.
That's 30. That's 30. That's 31 days or whatever, right? Because you said 60 per day.
No,
60 per week.
bro.
60 per week. That's 31 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
like that's over a. That's not. That's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
3/5 of a year. That's 3/5 of a
There's
year.
no reason to do that. Like to fucking ever think you're gonna buy a skin with that.
That's the
Like
Bro,
what
only
they
it's free
need
to
to
play.
do is they need
That's
that's
either
free to
literally
play
the
to me.
only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing you get for free. There's no coins in
Yeah.
the battle pass. There's no rewards at all for playing.
Sir,
for free.
that sounds like free to play
Yeah.
to me. If I can scrounge up a spark in 10 months, that's free to play, right? That
Yeah.
also means that if I can, at 3/5 of a year, that I could get one
can get
legendary
one
skin.
One
skin.
legendary skin.
That's free to play, baby.
Yeah,
That's free
except
to play.
the problem is, Spire, is that you're never going to do that because you're going to be buying every other battle pass with those coins because you're going to want the fucking
Fuck.
hero right away. Which, coincidentally, you earn enough coins to buy every other battle pass as soon as it comes out.
Wait,
And every
really?
other battle pass has a hero.
So you essentially come out like on zero because you continually have to buy battle passes instead, right?
Yeah,
Is
except
that-
also the weeklies are fucking garbage, and you have to win like 1,000,000 games in order to fucking even complete all of them.
Bro, you get free battle passes. That's free
Yeah,
to
free
play,
battle
baby.
pass. So
free,
instead of just paying like
free to
10
play,
bucks
baby.
every fucking like 4 months, thank God you get to
Yeah.
grind out like 80
Grind
hours
your
of
ass off.
Overwatch.
Yeah. All fucking year.
Like,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so like the problem is that like the shop isn't the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Very enjoyable experience, I'm sure. But or at least
yeah,
the microtransactions.
I've been up
but,
to that. But
yeah.
Overwatch 2 is fun, good game.
Yeah.
I wish people weren't so fucking terrible at DPS, but here we are.
I think what you I think what
people
you're
are
getting is like
terrible at literally every role in that game. Like
I think what you're getting is like
Yeah,
because
but like
because like
DPS especially.
because the thing is like when Overwatch first came out, right? It's like the people that fed into Overwatch are like the CSS, the CS:GO, the Quake people, right? That didn't really have like other
I
games.
feel like the people who fed into Overwatch were the fucking Tumblr artists that don't play video games at all, and then
Well,
they were able to press
like,
Q
I meant
on
like, I meant like
cooldown
the
with the rest of their team and win. And now in
Yeah.
Overwatch 2, you can't do that anymore because it's an actual game.
Well, I mean that's also a thing, but I think also like there's a lot of like in Overwatch 2, there's a lot of people who are just like doing whatever the hell they want in like, like Valorant or whatever, and then they come into Overwatch as well and they're like, "Wait a minute. I have where's my no recoil shotgun?" Like it's stuff like that. But
Dude, I have to actually like
aim
play
as
this
aim
game? What the
yeah,
fuck?
exactly. I actually have to be aware of my spray. But yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Glad to hear that you're enjoying Overwatch, but maybe not so much the microtransactions. As for me, I haven't been up too much. I've been a little bit de-stressing over the last 2 weeks, watching some anime stuff, reading some books outside of anime. Surprise, I do
What the
read
fuck?
stuff. This
Why?
this reminds me. This reminds me. A fucking I forget if it was this. Yeah, I forget if it was this week or the last couple weeks or before that. But it's like there was somebody who like released a bunch of notes on like Twitter or whatever it was, right? Like Twitlonger or something like that. And somebody commented below like, "Oh, like freaking like let me know when somebody releases a video because I'm eating ice cream and I can't read while eating ice cream." I'm like,
Oh,
"What is
I
wrong with
remember.
you,
Yeah,
bro?"
I
Yeah.
remember seeing that.
I'm like, "Bro, like it's one thing like if you're, if you have to read a text or an article and you have to critically analyze it and you know you have a test in a week or something like that where you have like sure like perfectly fine, like you can watch a lecture or do whatever to optimize your learning experience or whatever. But like if you're reading a casual Reddit paragraph, like a couple of Reddit paragraphs, and you're like, bro, I can't read this shit while eating ice cream. Like come
It's
on.
like physically impossible. Like,
Yeah, sorry,
the
I
human
can't.
brain.
Is it designed for that?
Damn,
Yeah, like
bro,
the
like
human, like
fucking Joe Biden really is getting in there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. He's really just like he's the forerunner. He's actually like super brave because he can actually eat the ice cream and
he
like
can,
talk
bro.
to
He can
people and
eat
stuff.
2 fucking scoops, bro.
Yeah, I know. While actually interacting with others. Yeah. But I actually did do literary stuff, read books and so on. But so that happened. I also
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I've been trying to read a little bit more on like, like literary criticism and so on, and just obviously trying to bring a little bit more to the table in terms of like the types of reviews that I do, for instance, with anime and so on. So you know, so I can, offer a little bit more insight. But uh, I've also been, because I've been going back to watching YouTuber like clips and stuff mainly. Again, I don't really watch streams of YouTubers. I don't have the patience to like sit there and watch, you know, Japanese cam girls behind virtual avatars like cook and eat curry for like 2 hours on end. Like I just don't have the
You
patience for
are
that.
missing out.
Yeah, that is true. And fail like cooking curry, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what the fuck do I do?" But I only watched like the highlights. But recently, I've gotten it also because they're like the virtual YouTuber trend has also gotten into Korea a little bit more, and it's kind of funny to watch some of them because it's like what happens is like so the type of like comedy that like streamers do in like Korea and Japan are slightly different. Where like in Japan, a lot of it's like again, it's like the bukitsukomi kind of thing, right? Where it's like the streamer does like something weird, right? Like something stupid or weird, and they're like, huh? Like what happened? And like Japanese, like the viewers are acting out the tsukomi role in response to the streamer's bokeh, right? Where they're just like question mark, like what the fuck are you doing? Like
Yeah.
hello? Like that's sort of the main style of comedy that they run. Um, but in Korea, there's not really a like bukitsukomi kind of thing. It's just like a constant like but like, if you're not the one punching them in the face, you're the one getting punched in the face, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's usually the streamer is usually the one getting punched in the face. So usually the highlights and the YouTube comedic content is based around the streamer kind of like just being there, and then suddenly just like the Korean streamer or the Korean viewer just coming in and starting like insulting them, like, hey, why is your chest so flat, or like, why is your nose so big, or whatever it is, right? Just like boom, 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 boom. And, like the streamer is just like spending 15, 30 minutes just like trying to defend themselves from like the oncoming barrage. And so I've been enjoying that style of humor as well, and just like watching them, the virtual YouTuber stuff. And there was this one thing where this one Korean streamer was just like, I really want to support the virtual YouTuber experience because, and this is like pretty much verbatim what she said. Like, once I'm old and I'm not able to do stuff like activities as like a cam girl, right? Essentially, I'm going to slowly fade away, and then I'm gonna fucking come back like a rat, just like under like a virtual YouTuber experience, under like a virtual avatar, where nobody will know how old I am, and just run like that, and just continue my career like that. It's like, so this is I'm drawing a big picture here. Like I'm aiming for the big plan later on.
The
so,
option select.
Yeah, exactly. This is the big picture here that she has. But it's been interesting to see how that molds into the Korean community as well. So I've been enjoying a little bit of that, but not much else.
I heard
That's been pretty much it.
the Korean
Yeah.
VTuber community is not all that great though, because one of the biggest ones was kind of a jerk.
What do you mean by the
Don't
biggest?
you remember
one?
it from Niji Sanji?
The biggest Niji Sanji one, I guess.
Where she has a
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it-
yeah. She
Well, that
was
was a
she had
bully?
she had that incident. So she was a
Defend
not a very
yourself,
good
Spire.
person. I mean, there's no defending. She was an asshole, and there are quite a lot of assholes in Korea. I'm not gonna be like, wow, the Korean community is so great. She was
you
an
see that-
asshole. and-
Bro, they made K-pop. What the fuck? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, bro. Like K-pop is full of perfect people. Like, how can there be assholes, right?
Who's
But,
that? Who's that one tweet where it said like they moved all the jerks in Korea to the north? Is that what was that?
I have no. I
Was
hope
that-
that wasn't a real tweet, but I
I
have no idea what you're
Thought
talking
it was.
about.
Oh well.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean there was that Niji Sanji Korea incident that was extremely bad and very unfortunate. But
So
a lot
Spire,
of
how's the cold wave? Did you get hit with the cold wave? I didn't.
no, I did not. Thankfully, it's been pretty warm here, but I'm assuming that come winter I'm just gonna be freaking snowed in as I was last year. So
What's your
it's,
favorite season?
my favorite season?
Isn't it winter?
I do like the thing is it's like I really do like winter, but for some reason, like I've liked it less once I moved to Ohio. I'm not as big of a fan
Ohio.
of winter here because it's just like a very shitty like just like things are just like getting snowed in. It's not even like a pretty snow. It's just like you get snow like randomly overnight and then like everything's shitty. Like you can't do anything with the snow and it's just like it's all ice. So I've liked it a little bit less, but I still do like winter themes and so on. So but anyways, that's pretty much it for my 2 weeks. So last but not least, Toast. What about
What?
you? 2 weeks, please.
I watch Geats. It's pretty good. You should watch Geats,
Nice.
Spire. You like Apex, don't you, Spire?
I don't like it. I don't play Apex or Valorant or
either.
any. I've literally never played a battle royale yet in my life.
Oh,
So
it's always time to
Loser.
start, bro.
Loser.
I apologize. I know there's like a huge like Valorant push right now going on in the Asian communities.
Yeah,
and
don't
I
play
would-
that. Don't play that. Don't.
Yeah,
Really?
that game
It's the
is
socket.
ugly and stupid.
I have like no opinion on
I
like
mean,
any of this stuff. So that's
So
why.
like, so Valorant, from what I've seen, because I haven't played it, because that game is fucking hideous. But from what I've seen, Valorant is basically like CS. Imagine CS:GO, where
Mhm.
like everyone is kind of just camping a fucking corridor.
Oh yeah.
but-
or like you're
but-
like, or you have to like throw smoke grenades through the corridor to like fuck with them. or
Yeah,
whatever,
but instead of throwing smokes and flashbangs, you're throwing like massive like fog walls that blind people.
yeah, the green
and
wall, the
spot
green like
them
chroma key wall,
and
right?
like do
Yeah, yeah.
damage,
Yeah.
and it CCs them as well, and it's like literally
Is that what
if
the
you-
green screen does? The green screen
yeah,
does?
like
Okay.
so from what I've seen in Valorant, if you try to like move at all, really, you get CC'd by like 18 different fucking things. You have no idea where you are anymore, and then you get shot in the back of the head.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know why there's been such a huge like shift from like because before it was like Japan playing Apex and stuff like that, and like Koreans playing like PUBG. But now both like Japan and Korea and everyone is like playing Valorant. I don't know what caused like the sudden shift.
You'd rather
I
if
don't
you
know.
want to play Valorant, literally just play Apex Arena mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Geets, that's
Yes.
because I don't know. You like battle royale games because that's what Geets is. Pretty good. Should watch Aspire. You have no excuse.
I'm not gonna again like I'm not gonna justify myself not watching Kamen Rider or anything like that, but I haven't really like felt an urge to go out and watch like Kamen Rider, but I should.
Damn.
Like I'm not saying I shouldn't. I should, but I haven't felt
Then
an
you
urge.
should
yet.
watch Black Sun. You don't have an excuse for not watching Black Sun. It's on Amazon. It just came out
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, I saw.
It's all. You saw it? You watch
No,
it?
no, I saw that it was on Amazon. I haven't seen Black Sun.
Yeah, I have some problems with Black Sun, but it's pretty good. It's definitely a must-watch.
Mhm.
I'm a bit confused about the pacing, but it's all good. Also, the henshin's pretty sweet. The belt's pretty sweet. Spar, you should get the belt. I might get the belt.
How much did you guys say it was like $400 or something like that?
That was
Or
No,
like
not this yen.
44k yen.
okay, yeah, so it's like
It's gonna be
$400.
like, hey, listen, we give it no. That's like fucking
No.
300 now, dude.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, because of the value of the
The
yen.
yen is
Two-
fucking garbage. That's like 300 bucks now.
298. Yeah, so it's $300.
Holy shit, dude.
You should get your belts while you can. Support the Japanese community.
The funny thing is, you know what this is, what I've noticed is that like this because the yen is like so low in comparison to like so like when you're like doing like a lot of like donations and gifts and stuff like that, you obviously have to like it's in terms of like yen, for instance, right? With like twit casting or whatever. So it's like I've noticed that like more foreigners are just like shitting out like donations and like gifts and stuff like that just because just because the yen is like so cheap. So it's like even if you get them like X, 1,000 yen or however many yen gift, it's like 60% of that price now. So
But yeah, Black Sun, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't like how it takes place in two different time eras because when it takes place in the past, they had a sepia filter to it, but then they discarded that over the course of the series. So
Hmm.
the only way to differentiate is like their old ass outfits in the 70s. And I'm like, damn, I gotta look that hard, huh? Oh well. What else? I don't know. I ate a pizza. Pretty cool.
Pretty good. What pizza?
I don't fucking know.
You don't remember?
I'm looking at it. I was like, I don't.
Didn't you just eat it? That's why I'm assuming you brought it up, right?
There was like a tomato on it, and I maybe
Oh,
basil.
you did like the Roma tomato like pizza
No,
or whatever
I
it
don't
is.
know. I was handed a pizza for free, and so I'm like, all right, cool.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay, sure.
it might be margarita. I don't fucking know.
Okay. Well, pretty good. Pizza is always nice. Well, I guess
What else?
yeah. Anything else?
I mean, not really, unless you want me to talk about unless you want to talk about gender bend me sayonara demon dong. That's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
It was where you like gender bendings and demon dongs.
No.
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 I like how both Nier and I was like, no, not really.
Not-
It's made
Not
by
quite
Not
my tempo.
particularly.
it's made by our good old friends at Norn.
Mhm.
If you remember Norn, they no, that's different. Never mind.
Oh, that reminds me. Fucking
wait.
Koi Choco. Koi Choco is getting the English localization or whatever, right? If I remember.
What's it called?
Koi to Senke to Chocolate. Love Elections of Chocolate or whatever it is.
But yeah, if you don't remember, our friends at Norn also did a Bitchy Boss Bimbofication. And
I'm just putting my head down right now.
Tails and Titties Hot Spring, that was also good.
God damn it.
And also
Toast, can you just read like regular stuff like Koi Choco? Like the thing is, I would still hate you if you liked Koi Choco, but like at least I wouldn't be hear you say these titles. You know what I mean?
But I mean, Spire, there's only two. I only got two choices: the fun ones and then the good ones. It's like, do you want me to?
You could also read the good ones, or
like-
not even the good, or the ones that aren't like weird.
Spire, all I got for you is the creamy result of hypnotizing my annoying stepmom and honor student
damn it.
stepsister, or Mahotsukai no Yoru. Like, which one?
Or
Which one do you want?
it's kind
Which one do you want me to pick?
I would say that you could expand your horizons a little bit more than that, maybe.
Like,
But,
I don't have many choices, do I? Is anything gonna be as good as the Nasuverse VNs? I don't think so. Tsukihime
well,
looked
that
pretty
is
good.
certainly a take that exists in this
Mahotsukai no
universe. that is
Give
certainly
me-
a take that exists in this
Give me a
universe.
VN that's better than Mahotsukai no Yoro. Go.
That's better than Mahotsukai no Yoro.
I
That's
bet you can't.
translated. Well, you need one that's
Even
translated,
fans
right?
translation, sure.
I mean, I would say the key ones are like the key ones pre-rewrite are probably
After Mahotsukai no Yoro.
after Mahotsukai, like released after Mahotsukai no Hero.
Yeah, 2012.
Also project stuff. I liked fucking- why do I put on my wars? I think put on my wars did get a translation currently, right? It might have.
Which one?
Oh wait, no, it didn't. Okay, but some Asa project stuff is pretty good, and
But
the
is it
issue
better
it's-
than Mahotsukai no Yoro? I don't think it is.
Mahotsukai no Yoro is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Renai Royale
Fuck.
loves a battle. That one. That's the newest one, isn't
Mm,
it?
No, that one's not that good. I like Prime Wars the best out of all the Asa project stuff, but that's not translated. I think the second closest would be the one that is translated would be Skito Sankak Renai. The Sankak Renai is the one that I think is probably the best after Prime Wars. But I do agree that Mahotsukai no Yoro is pretty good. But
that-
after
that one.
the thing is, it's like after
Oh, I've
2012,
seen that one.
it's like
You pervert. I see it. I looked it up. There's an H scene in there. Mahotsukai no Yoro doesn't have H scenes. Pervert.
That's true. I apologize for it having an H scene, but I think after 2012, I'd have to search, but yeah,
Exactly.
Well, it's kind of Euro is a
proven.
relatively high bar, but
I mean,
anyways,
Muv-Luve's pretty cool, but like, Muv-Luve still has
when
scenes,
was
doesn't
Little
it?
Busters released?
Way before that. 2027?
Wow, fuck, you're
Really?
right. Yeah, it was released so long ago. God damn it, I feel so old for some reason. Why the fuck were all these released so early?
2007, yeah. That's
Yeah.
still the Clonat era. Little Busters.
Yeah,
and all that.
that's still like peak like slice of life, like green, that sort of like teardrops, that sort of era. Yeah. I forget. I'm very bad at like remembering visual novels after 2014, 2015 ish. So it's a
'Cause they
little
all
bit
suck.
Yeah,
hard.
visual novels
was-
were fucking dead by then, bro.
What's the one with the?
1 million per visual novel, bro. Just cough up 1 million to make a visual novel.
What's
Blast.
that one? What's that one with the worms and the wishes that you guys liked?
Is
Huh?
that the? No,
Was it-
we
was it-
didn't read it, but it's the one that was like made by the same studio as Euphoria, right? It's like Maggot, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
Maggot something. What is it? Was it Maggot Bait?
Don't talk
What
about
it was
Mega
called,
Baits,
yeah.
please.
Maggot Baits. Yes.
Is that what it's called? Really, Maggot Baits? Yeah, it is what it's
Yes.
called.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're right.
Please don't talk about that series.
You know, Nier and I are bonded by a special bond and called We Want the Euphoria. Now we're like we're like the two like main characters in like a horror game, like just like with a flash, like with one flashlight between us, just like, oh fuck, is this really what this visual novel is like?
Who is your favorite character in Maggot Bates?
Neither of us have played Megabates, so we would not be able to comment on that.
I didn't read that shit, bro.
Bro, one of the fucking characters apparently in Megabates has like wings on her head, but it's like fly wings. What the fuck is this, bro?
I love Flywing. It's all
God damn.
Beelzebub, bro.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're bug themed.
Anyways,
You
that's
mean
pretty much
was it her name Wilma, right? Yeah, Wilma's
yeah,
cool.
apparently. Yeah. Anyways, anything else? That was pretty much it, right, Toast?
Haha, what embarrassed? Relax. Soon enough, I'll make you weep with joy over having that wiener.
All right, so I'll
I'm
assume
good.
that's pretty much it. But so yeah, thank you for your 2 weeks, Toast, and we'll get right into it then. I'll go first here with my series, and this is just one of the isekai series of the season. So I just kind of
Which one
picked
did
it.
you love, Isekai Spire?
He
It's
loves
like
it.
you watched isekai, what? But it is a light novel original. This is not a web novel. Apparently, this started as a light novel, but honestly, it's kind of all there these days because it's like the level of like what gets accepted as a light novel isn't much higher than what's available on fanfic sites like Naro, anyways, Shosetsu ni Naro. So it's pretty much all the same sort of standard. But my series, people might also know it as farming isekai, but it is called Noumin Kanren no skill bakka agete. Noumin Kanren no skill bakka agetetara Nazeka Tsuyoku Natta. I've somehow gotten stronger when I improved my farm-related skills, is the official English localized title. Again, it is the light novel original. It is made by Studio ACAT, who is mainly a 3D CGI company. They helped with stuff like Conan, Aikatsu, Idolmaster, Tegami Bachi. They did help. They headed the production of a lot of like those 3D mecha girl stuff with the 3D CGI, like Chocodo Girl 1/6, which is called Overdrive Girl 1/6. I believe
Oh
Toast
yeah,
covered
I
that
like that
once.
one. It was good.
Yeah. Frame Arms Girl, I believe Dark knows that one. LBX
Yep.
Girls, Get a Robo Arc, Tamayomi, which was the multimedia project with like the baseball girls or whatever. Kenja no Doshio Nanono Kenja, or aka she professed herself the pupil of the wise man, stuff like that. This series itself, Nomi Kanren, was made with help from mainly them, or they headed this project, but they got help from mainly Studio CJ, who is a studio who does a lot of like in between finishing animations, as well as Studio Tulip and Dongam Pictures, and some of the main management from Studio Tulip and Dongam Pictures you can see in the production staff. The main production management casting is so the director is Norihiko Nagahama Norihiko, who before this he mainly did a lot of like in between animations, key animation stuff. His main like sort of quote unquote direction roles was in making a lot of like Edo smut like OVAs. Um, he did a couple of episode directing roles, but this is his first mainstream anime directing role that isn't like a full like hentai Edo smut OVA. So this is his sort of big project on the job. Um, a lot of he brought in a lot of like the people who worked, excuse me, who worked with stuff like Conan, 3D stuff like with Conan. A lot of people who worked under Studio ACAT, and Studio Tulip, and working with stuff like Idolmaster Cinderella Girls and Frame Arm Girl and stuff like that. So a lot of the ACAT and Studio ACAT and Studio Tulip group who worked on those things are here. Again, script Machida Toko, good veteran with a general veteran with sort of slice of life stuff. Worked with stuff like Lucky Star, Amagami, Wake Up Girls. You can see a lot of that sort of experience panning out here. And again, a lot of the stuff like director of photography, anime director, anime character design are the same people who worked with 3D stuff in Kona and so on. So yeah, that's the general thing. Voice acting cast, the main character, the hero, the MC, is voiced by Junya Enoki, who is a sort of 10-year veteran He did the new voice of Takeru or TK in Digimon. He did Nova and Luluko, Shion and Card 5 Vanguard. He did like the shy glasses guy in Kono to Tomare, Kurata Takezo. In this one, it's actually pretty interesting because he voices a slightly younger person, right? Than usual, and so he does like a very sort of like a nasally, kind of like a Miyano Mamoru like nasal tone, which is kind of interesting because I haven't heard that from him from before. There are most of the other characters are veterans, and Okuborumi, Suayaka, Minami Tanaka, Yusa Koji, Nishino Yuko, all people who have been working in the industry for like at least like 4 or 5 years or more. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The audio visuals, relatively mediocre. Again, Studio ACAT does have experience, but they're mainly 3D stuff, and they're getting kind of help from Tulip and the others in terms of subcontracting. They probably didn't get that much money from this for this, and it kind of shows in their 2D. The 3D isn't terrible. It's not like Overlord Season 2 or whatever, where it's like you're looking at it and you're like, is this real? Like, is this a thing that you guys are doing right now? So it's not like terrible because obviously again they're a 3D CGI company. They're kind of showing their chops, but it still kind of sticks out. It's not great. I wasn't very impressed by it. The OPED OST again, I'm not very impressed by it either. Nothing to really be hyped over. So that was pretty much it for the audio visuals as well as the staff. As for the plot, let me read the summary real quick and then I'll get into it. So, plot summary here. A young man named Al Wayne vows to max out all his farm related skills and become the king of farmers. He finally accomplishes precisely that to live as the best farmer there ever was. However, on the day he mastered these farm related skills, his life took a completely different direction from farming. So, you might be wondering, hey, this guy isn't like actually dead and like he didn't die from Japan and then go over to a new world. Why are you calling this an isekai again? As Toast and I have pointed out multiple times, this is sort of a isekai in spirit because part of what I sort of define sometimes as an isekai isn't necessarily specifically the plot premise that a Japanese person or some ex person dies by getting hit by truck-kun and goes over to another world. But what really represents the spirit of an isekai is this idea of the power fantasy, right? I'm in this kind of world, and I have I'm usually 99% of the time is feudal because a lot of these isekai writers are stupid. But a lot of I'm using this power that nobody else has, and I'm just like gathering up all these girls, and I'm so powerful and cool and doing all these stuff, and that's really what the current spirit of the isekai genre is right now. So to me, it is pretty much isekai in all but name. So the general idea is that again, usually, well, before I fully go into here, usually when you have these farm-related isekais, and yes, Japan has a lot of these farm-related isekai series. What usually happens is that they fall into one of two categories. They can have like a mix of the two, but it's usually biased towards one or the other. The first type of farming related isekai is sort of like the fully slow life stuff. So what happens is that the guy has such great farming skills that he sort of makes all these great crops and whatever, and he attracts all these people that come to his farm, right? So that's the first type where it's like all the people that come to his farm are like, whoa, you have such fresh crops. Oh my God, these give me so much power, blah, blah, blah. And he just like starts attracting all these like creatures and like powerful people, right? And so the way that pans out is a mixture of slow life episodes where all he does is like farm and gain all the money and like all the power and stuff like that because he makes such great crops. And whenever he has to actually defeat an enemy or like whenever some demon comes onto his farmland, the powerful creatures he befriended because he makes such great crops chases the demons away. So that's sort of the first type of farming isekai that we generally see these days in the Japanese shosetsu ninaro isekai, farm, feudal, power fantasy kind of trope. The second type is the weirder type, right? Where your farming skills, the MCs, the main character's farming skills are so strong that he starts actually using them as like fighting skills as to like to solve problems in like any related like issue, right? So it's like if he needs to defeat like a demon lord, his like hoeing skills is his raking skills is so powerful that he just like he has like 99999 in physical specs and he just beats the demon lord with one punch because his farming skills were so strong, right? So that's the other general type, where the farming skills become so OP that he can kind of defeat anything in his way. So those two are the general two types that usually these farming isekais are split into. And Nomi Kanren fits pretty squarely into the second type, where you can see almost in, I believe, episode 1, where he's kind of like carting along like his crops to go to the market or whatever, and he sees a dragon in the distance, and he's like, "Oh no, dragon!" And he takes his carrot that he grew, and he's just like throws it at the dragon, and the carrot like explodes in the dragon, like on the side of the dragon, like destroys it. And then like when he has to like stop a thief or stop a kidnapper, he because he has such like great physical specs, he's just, like he does like judo throws the thief and like he defeats demons with his like one swing of his fist, just because his farm related skills are so strong that all his specs are now like super strong, and like his carrots are grenades and he's like essentially One Punch Man now. So that's pretty much it. And there's not much else to the plot really. It's just like an episodic kind of thing where he kind of gathers girls because he's so powerful and he saves all their cats from the tree. Longtime viewers of the podcast will know what I mean by this. He goes around and saves all the cats from the trees, and he kind of raises a social link and gets the affection points from them, right? By doing helpful things for them. And so that's sort of the thing. He collects the harem, and whenever he does a good thing, he's just like, "Oh, wow, this maxing out my, farming skills gave me this useful skill, and that allowed me to defeat the demon lord. That's pretty useful." And then he's just like, "Oh, wait, I got to go back to my farming." And then he just like runs off while leaving the girl that he saved behind. It's like a lot of that sort of repetition at one episode after another, and then he gets involved in fights, and people are like, "What is that farmer doing?" And he's just like, "Oh, you think?" And the demon's like, "Oh, you're just a farmer. You can't beat me." And he's just like, "Oh, I'll punch you because my farm points are 78,000 or whatever it is, right?" And he defeats the demon lord, and that's sort of the general idea of the series. Again, it's very episodic in nature. He collects the girl. He goes out. He saves their cats from trees, gains the affection points, defeats the demon lord with his farming physical specs or whatever, rinse repeat. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to it. My personal opinion of it, heavily I've never been super impressed with these types of series. Honestly, I've never been impressed with how shosetsu, light novel, web novel writers in Japan write either type of farm related series, either the slow life or like the farming spec, like physical spec type of isekai. Because the farming physical spec, like at that point, you're not really like you're just kind of using farming as like a smoke grenade, right? You're like, "Oh, it's gonna be unique because farming, bro." But it's like the series doesn't really have much to do with farming. And so it just becomes another like, "I'm powerful. I'm just gonna punch stuff in the face and just go along with it." And every once in a while I'll make like a joke about me having to be just a farmer, whatever, right? And so I've never been impressed with that type. But I've never been impressed with the other type either, like the soul life farming type, because um again, it's kind of like the same like repetition of like everybody comes to the village and they're so surprised at how good his crops are that they just ended up staying. And then it's just kind of that. And then the worst part of that is the writers of that sort of slow life, I'm attracting everybody with my crops kind of isekai, is that whenever they kind of run out of ideas on how to make the cast interact with each other and how to develop the cast and the world and stuff like that, they kind of like they kind of just devolve into these entire chapters. I know there's just like one series. I forget the name of it, but it's like there was this one farming series where it's like um by like X chapters in they had like a village with like dark elves and like a bunch of like wolves and like a bunch of like I think like spider bugs and stuff like that. Like
Which
it
one?
was crazy.
There's two that I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it the
But it's
one
like,
with the? Is it the one with the mermaid or no?
No, I don't think it was the one with the mermaid. It was just like it had like the dark elves. It had like the dogs that kept like breeding with each other, right? Or like made like the dogs that kept like, or like the wolf dogs or whatever that kept like that
I
were
know which
like
one you're talking
actually
about.
super
Let me
strong.
pull it
Yeah.
up. It's the one where he's got the all-purpose farming tool, right?
Yes, I believe that's it. And he makes like the bathroom at the beginning, or like the whatever it is. Yeah. Um, so stories like that, whenever they start evolving and like they don't know where to go, where the author doesn't know where to go with the story, starts making chapters where it's like you literally have entire chapters worth of like, oh, today I farmed and then I made more. Uh tilled more ground. Like I tilled like an acre of land. That's literally the chapter. I'm not even like making this up. That's You'll have entire chapters of that, and that's just like very not good writing. It's not even like trivia because it's like they'll just be like, today I made the elves were guarding the dark elves were guarding stuff while I tilled an extra acre of land or whatever it is, and that'll be the chapter. And
Yeah, the one you're talking about is Isekai Nonbiri Noka. That's the one.
yes, you are
That one
correct. Thank you,
sucks.
Toast. Yeah, it's very bad. Even Toast is like, no, that one sucks.
It's literally nothing. It's like, oh here, I
Yeah,
want.
you know what I'm talking about, right? There are like entire chapters where it's like I tilled the land or whatever it is, right? It's like
It's like this vague ass description of everything. He's not even
yeah.
doing anything interesting.
Yeah,
This stuff.
he's not. It's not even like the author's adding extra like farming trivia when he does the farming chapters. It's literally like, yeah, I farmed more. It's very just like poor writing. Um, so because of those experiences, I've never been particularly impressed with any sort of farming related Sky, and this was pretty much as I expected. It would be exactly in the mark of like sort of what the standard is these days in the industry and in the Japanese like anime, light novel, web novel, fan fiction kind of community. So I wasn't impressed by it. I don't think you guys should watch it. It's not very impressive. If you're a degenerate and you kind of want to watch it for the guilty pleasure because you want to watch a strong farming man pick up anime girls, then I guess you can. But otherwise, it's very like low value. It's like a cigar butt anime. Don't watch it. But yeah, that's it's a little bit hurried, but there wasn't much plot. But that's pretty much all I had to say about Nomi Kanren.
Even when the plot starts to pick up, it's not even that good.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I believe the short version, the short name for it is Nomin Kanren is the short name for it in the Japanese community. And I joked about this with Nier before the podcast, right? Because I told him these days, just because the isekai titles are so long, right? Even when they're shortened to like, like this like Nomin Kanren, blah, 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 is shortened to like a regular title like Nomin Kanren. It's still like the same length as like a regular anime title these days.
Yeah.
And it's very fucked up. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had for Nomi Conran. I wouldn't recommend watching it. It's very standard farming isekai. Farming isekai suck, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had for that. And now we'll just move on real quickly to Dark. I believe you are next. What do you have for us?
I was definitely not in the revised, but I could go.
Sorry,
'Cause, I'm pretty sure I'm dead
no, I
last.
messed up. Yeah, I messed up. It's Toast.
What?
Excuse me. Yeah, you are next.
Okay.
What do you have for us?
A better series than yours.
I honestly would pretty much agree, actually.
I watched Guild of Depravity.
Yes,
Hell
Futoku no
yeah.
Guild. It is a manga original, I believe, made by TNK Studios. TNK Studios
Is it
being
manga?
known.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. I thought it was potential light novel original too, but it's apparently not. It is made by TNK Studios. TNK Studios are known for the following: Akanairo ni Sumarusaka, an eroge from a while back. Seiretsukai no Blade Dance of the Elementalers, I believe is the
That's
one.
an old one.
Doreiko the Animation, High School DD, Kandagawa Jet Girls, Redo of Healer, Sin Nanatsu no Taizai, the Edo version, like the Seven Mortal Sins, the Yuri one, right? Not the Shonen Action series. So they're known for that. I believe the original.
You forgot
Yeah.
Ultra UFO Ultra Maiden Valkyrie. That's an old
Yeah, that
favorite
one
of
too.
mine.
I believe the
And
original creator
Kanazuki no
is.
Miko, that's also a favorite of
Oh,
mine.
really? They
And
did. Okay, they
Kyoshiro
did.
Totoa no Sora, that's also a favorite of mine. So this is
um,
actually a studio that I like.
yeah, TNK Studio does a lot of interesting stuff. They've had some other weirder stuff these past two. Oh yeah, they've had some failings in the last couple of years. They did Redo of Healer, I believe. That's
How
also
was
one
that
of
a
their.
failure, Spire? It's better. It's better than what is it? Slave harem, or I'm sorry, harem in the other
That's
world. That's right. There are no slaves in that
that's an
series.
extremely low bar. I'm not. I kind of agree with you that it's like in terms of execution, it's like slightly better than Slave Harem Labyrinth, but it's like it's a very low bar. Oh yeah, they also did School Days
School
too.
days.
Yes,
I've
yes,
never
yes,
heard of
yes.
school days, Spire. You should elaborate. What is
Yeah,
school days?
I'm not gonna do that. Just if you don't mind, if I'm just gonna go over the staff very quickly. Original creator is Kaozai Taichi, who also did like a smaller manga called Banoten, which is like a school life rom-com ecchi. So he's kind of continuing that in like isekai version, is like or like a feudal fantasy version. The general idea of the production staff is that they're all people who are gathered under TNK Studios. They're mainly the redo of Healer people, the Kondaga Jet Girl people, as well as they did, I believe, they did some stuff like the a lot of veterans here, especially the character design, like the chief animation director. But most of them have done like stuff like Makenki, Valkyrie Drive,
Which one
like
was
Queens.
McKenke? Was that the one with the really big tits?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. And they did.
Oh wait, no, McKenke's the one by the what's that guy's name? Takeda, right? Hiromitsu Takeda.
Yeah,
I'm
Hiromitsu
I'm,
Takeda,
I'm thinking of
the true father of NTR
I'm thinking
that
of
nobody talks
Aiken.
about. Yeah.
Aiken is the other one. Whoops.
Yes. But yeah, Kanagawa Jet Girls, I believe some of them worked on, again, Seretsukai no Blade Dance, High School DD. But yeah, it's mainly the redo of Healer Squad and the Kanagawa Jet Girls Squad, all just like coming together and working on this. So that's pretty much it. But they are all like veterans of like this style of like that sort of like ecchi rom-com style. So there's a lot of heavy duty people in that sense in the animation department for this. So yeah. But yeah. Sorry. So I'll just pass it over to you then, Toast.
You like you like tentacle rape, Spire?
I wouldn't say that I do. No.
What about snakes?
That's also a no from me, Toast.
You don't like the two-headed snake allegory?
uh, no, not really.
What? Where am I going? Oh yeah, all right. So this series is about this dude. What's the guy's name? I don't know. The green dude. Kikuru something? I
Yeah.
don't remember their names anymore. Well, except maybe the two of them.
It's Kikuro Madan. Kikuro Madan. It's
Madan. I like Magan. I get it. Yeah. So this dude Kikuru, he's like the ace. He's the ace hunter of the guild, where he
yes.
or ace guard, I should say, because their whole thing is they're a group of adventurers that protect the town from invading monsters. So he's like an event. He's like. Then the episode starts the episode starts off with him talking to the best character in the series, the guild girl, Enome or whatever. He's all like, "I'm 20 years old and I've never had a girlfriend because all I've been doing all my life is training, and
Mhm.
all my other friends at what is it? I think the Hunters Guild University or whatever are picking up chicks. I want to pick up chicks too." And he's like, "So I'm retiring or quitting or whatever." And then the
Mhm.
guild's like, "You can't retire because if you retire, like the monsters will overrun our town because you're the only one good at it." And he's like, "Damn, you got a point." So I guess I'd better, like, if I want to retire peacefully, pick up chicks at the university or whatever, because I've been
Mhm.
wasting my youth, my 20 years training all this time. I guess I'd better find a successor. So the
Mhm.
new girl shows up, Hitomuki, she's the beast. She's a beast girl. I don't what kind of beast. Maybe a dog. I believe she's a dog due to the
Is it like
tail.
fox or wolf or something like
Oh,
that? Oh, no, it's not.
maybe.
Okay,
Maybe
maybe.
wolf. Dog. What is a wolf but a dog?
What?
Or what is a dog but a wolf 2.0?
2.0. I
Yeah,
guess.
so
Okay.
the first party member that he's trying to train a successor in is her. But she's a martial artist, but she sucks badly.
Uh-huh.
He loses to slimes because she's pure, as they call it. Like she's a pure martial artist, so she got to do the whole bow to your opponent and declare your attack and stuff. So
Uh-huh.
so in the first episode, she gets ambushed by a slime, and the slime sucks on her.
Right.
And then and then the next party member is who? I'm trying to remember the order. Was it the priestess? Yeah, I think it was the priestess.
It's the black-haired priestess, right? I
No,
believe. Yeah. No.
no, she's third.
It's-
It's the white-haired girl, the
Oh,
actual
the
priestess,
lolly girl, right? Or whatever.
Maidana, and
Yeah.
she's a 15 or whatever. She's a super prodigy of like Phoenix Zakin. I don't know. I guess she's a religious person. She goes
Mhm.
to a fancy university, genius, whatever. And she's kind of normal compared to Itamuki. Itamuki sucks. That's all I'll say. She sucks. She's the bumbling Opie character that gets into situations because she's got big boobs, so all the monsters are attracted to her. No, they explain that she has high quality mana, so all the monsters, instead of eating her, they just want to lick at that mana. And I'm like, I get that, bro. I get it. But yeah, she's normal. Like she's the Sukomi, I guess, because she doesn't really get into situations that often because
Mhm.
she's 15. You can't let that happen in this series yet. I should mention that I watched the uncensored version, so if you want to see anything of her, you won't get to see anything. So get out of here, you perverts! Gross weirdos. Hitomuki's like what, 18? So it's okay. Then you got the third character.
Enome?
No. The actual like the black. Or I should mention that the priestess's thing is that she's a prodigy of healing, so good for her. She's got the holy mark. She got the in those series you got the cool crest on women sometimes. In the cool spots, right, Spire?
Okay. I know what
You
you're
know
talking about, I think. Yes.
the womb crest. I'll just say it.
Yes.
Hers is
Yes.
on the other side.
What?
It's on her butt.
So she has a tramp stamp.
Yes, that's her holy mark that allows her to use white magic. So it's on her butt.
What
I'm
the
like, damn,
Okay.
that that's a way of subverting my expectation, I guess. Where were you?
I
Then there's the third
guess.
character, the third girl who's
The warrior?
no, the third character is the
Or the knight?
actual black mage.
Oh yeah, okay. She's called Donar Toxico, apparently.
Really? I just heard
Toxico
her name was actually Toxico. I don't remember that.
Yeah, Toxico Donar.
Whatever.
Yeah.
She's your typical black mage. She's lazy. She's like, I don't
Uh-huh.
want to work, but I gotta work, but I don't want to work. She's got low stamina because all she does is read books.
Mhm.
But her firepower is good, so like she's a better explosion fanatic because she has more spells, but she's got low stamina and low reflexes, so she's only good at AoE.
Mhm.
And she gets licked by the monsters too. That's cool. And then we get the fourth girl who's actually competent in some way. Uh, Hanabata, she's a war. She's the knight. You know the whole knight trope, but she's got a big old hammer. Gee, I
Yes,
wonder what
yes,
her
yes.
thing is. And thing is, she's actually good at fighting, but only when she uses her frenzy skill. And when she uses her frenzy skill, she becomes a drunk berserker and can kill things easily.
Mhm.
She's the bad kind of drunk. You know what I'm saying? Cries loudly, pretty
Yes,
destructive,
I
but
can.
she actually has good firepower. So like Koukyuu can't complain. He's like, damn, if only she wasn't drunk. Also, she's got big boobs, so that's a plus.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's literally this series. It's a bunch of
It's
bumbling
just
oafs trying.
yeah, it's just episodic stuff, right? Where it's
There's a
like
bunch of bumbling Kikuru and his bumbling oafs trying to train a successor and teach him how to hunt monsters and stuff. But they get into some spicy situations because it's that kind of series.
Mhm.
That's why it's called Immoral Guild, Guild of Depravity, whatnot. And yeah, I like it. Why not? I like it. I'm trying to put it simply. I like it in the same way that I like Peter Grill.
I
So
think one really big thing is like in the visual department at least, like you can tell like they all like the people there know what they're doing. Like they're just gunning straight for it. The lines are pretty thick though.
there's
It kind of reminds me
yeah,
of Zebek. Or not Zebek or like Lurche, I think. Like it kind of reminds me of that style, art style.
it's
Um
yeah, I it's the opposite of what what I was gonna say about like Love Tyrant and series Fly Me to the Moon. What's the Japanese name again?
oh, I know what you're
I don't know.
yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, it's the opposite where they have dark lines. I guess it makes the
Yeah.
characters more pronounced and whatnot, so they stand out more.
Tonikawa. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tonikaku
Cody
Kawaii.
Count. I mean,
Yeah.
I like. It. I don't really have a problem with it. It looks
No, I
more
like it too. Yeah.
manga-esque and whatnot.
I think
But yeah,
visually it executes very well. Um, but yeah,
I don't even remember who the opening is.
it's like, but I mean, I think the ending is more pertinent because it's like it's sung by Kuribayashi Minami, right?
Who's
But
that? I've never heard of
Kuribayashi,
that person in my life.
damn it.
What have
Anyways,
they done, Spire?
they did a lot of stuff, but I like her the most for Medaka Box opening, or she did Happy Crazy Box. But
Oh
she's
yeah.
done a couple of
Oh,
other
I
stuff.
would say, but yeah, you forget. But my favorite is My Otome
Oh yeah, no, that was pretty good too. I think.
or School Days. Yeah, if you like. Is she the one who sings the funny song?
Which funny song? Oh,
Fun song.
she also did Infinite Stratos opening. That's why. Okay, yeah. She did Infinite Stratos opening, which is like pretty famous. I forget she
Is it?
did Count for Two. God damn it. Okay.
Is she the one who did Kanashimi Mokuo? Is that the song?
I forget.
Let me
She's
see,
done a lot of stuff.
because that isn't that the iconic song? No, that's
Yeah.
Kanako Ito. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Anyways.
It's good, but like what do you want? The meat of the series. How good are the scenes? Pretty good. Pretty good. Episode 1 and 2. Like okay, there's the censored version and the uncensored version I'm watching right now. 1 and 2, they're nothing really. Like oh funny scene, but they're still clothed, so it's like haha, you can't see anything even if you watch uncensored. That's cool. 1 and 2, I like that. But then you ramp up to episode 3, and guess who? Guess who gets the first big titty reveal? Like, oh, here's an actual where they rip their clothes off, and like, guess which character gets it first?
Mhm.
You got guess Spire. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite of the group?
My favorite of the group. I
Yeah.
like the honestly I like the main girl followed by
What?
the black mage or not
What?
black mage, the fire
Wrong. The
mage.
correct answer is the guild girl.
Oh, the Guild
They're
Girl
the,
is really good too. You're right.
she's
Fuck.
the one that gets the first titty boing reveal from
Yeah,
this
you're
from the
right.
snake.
Fuck, you're right. No, I apologize. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's like bam, first reveal, very good choice. I approve. And then Kitamuki gets it too after that, and it's like, oh, not as good though.
Alright. Mhm.
But yeah, they're definitely ramping up the fun scenes after episode 3. So if you're into that, check it out. Check it out, I guess. But yeah, all in all, it's a good series. I really like it the same way that I like Peter Grill because there's a bunch of morons doing stupid things. They get into situations, and then Peter Grill and Kikira gotta save the girls from stupid stuff. But in this one, like they're not semen demons trying to steal Peter Grill's semen, but he's just like, God damn it! But Kikira's like, God damn it! Why do I have to put up with these girls? I just want to live my slow life in university campus and pick up chicks. But it's not like he's completely averse to the pervy situation because he's a dude. He's like this looks cool, but like I'm still annoyed that these girls are dumb.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's like, because when Inome got revealed, he's like, damn, this is some good stuff. He's like he was like when the titties popped out, he's like, damn, thanks for the meal, and he gave her money. Though she's like wrapped up in snakes, she's like, damn, I didn't expect that. But yeah, he's a normal dude. He likes women. He's not a revulsed
Mm.
by the perverted stuff. He's just like he gets it. It's like if he sees a good scene, he'll talk about it. It's like, damn, that's cool. But like he still knows what when the situation is called for.
Yeah, I
So he's a
mean,
normal dude.
there's like not much else other than like the whole again like going through the whole sort of etchy rom-com stuff, right?
I will
Episodic
say
stuff.
though that the further this series goes down, there's more fun scenes, but like the seriousness of the story goes up too. So there's a good balance of, aha, here's some boobs splashing, and also there's this actual serious monster that we need to fight and take it seriously. So if there's a good mix of comedy, ecchi, and story,
Mm.
I hope we get to that because I actually like this story quite a bit. I
Okay.
like the mix of three different of comedy, ecchi, and seriousness. So it's good. It's a good series. All in all, I'll rate it. I'll give it a 9.
A
Why not?
9?
I'll give it a 9. What did I give Peter Grill? Did I give that a 9?
I don't think you
I
did.
I don't
Damn.
I don't think you've given any series a 9 in like a very long time.
Why
But
not?
yeah, okay.
You know what? Yeah, I'll give it a 9. Definitely better than not Slave Harem in Another World. I will
Again, I think
say
that's a
that.
very low bar. That's an extremely low bar.
It has a Slave Harem has better scenes, even though you only see like the boobs. But like the story
They're
sucks, and
essentially just sex scenes.
yeah, it
Like
is.
slave harem
They
stuff is
straight up
just a
are.
sex scene.
But
Yeah.
the adaptation was horrible. I watched through all of it uncensored. They only get the two girls. They only got the two girls, and then it's like,
To
oh, we're
be
gonna tease all the other ones at the very end of the series after credits,
yeah.
and I'm like, why? Is that because you ran out of budget, so you'll never see them animated ever again?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like
Anyways.
everyone's favorite episode was episode 3 with the Inome, and
Mm.
she's a 31-year-old MILF, so and with a daughter, so it's okay. It's okay that the husband is a cheating scumbag who travels the world. Koukyuu still has a chance because there was this one scene where all the girls, like all his party members, were in a cafe, and the black mage calls him up. He's like, "Hey, dude, if you could date one of us, who would it be?" And he immediately answers Enome, even though she was like right there next to him. And they're like, "Damn, we can't beat that." Maybe
Mm.
Hanabata could beat her because she's the big boob knight, but she's a drunkard. So damn. But yeah, I like all the characters. Like even though they're dumb now, they all have their moment to shine because they actually become somewhat competent. Well, some more than others. There's still
Mhm.
one more character that one more party member that they haven't revealed yet. Because the elf, she's not there yet.
Okay.
So yeah, great series. If you like Peter Grill, if you want something better than Slave Harem, and
Okay,
um,
I don't I agree with you on that, but I don't think like slave harem is a very good bar. I think it's a
Man,
very
I
like I
also
think
don't
the
think
bar
people.
is
I don't think people are really out here being like, I need something better than Sleeve Harem. Like
like
nobody's
I
looking
Yeah,
for
because
that. Like,
it's just so perfect.
yeah, true.
yeah. I think that bar is like You know how we talk about like high bars. I think that bar is like buried 6 feet under right now. But yeah.
But yeah,
Anyways,
9 out of 10, definitely a must watch. If you can, if your mom goes by, you can squeak
tell her
by.
it's a 9 out of
Tell her you
10. Yeah,
downloaded a virus.
tell her it's a 9 out of 10, dog. What are you talking about? It's a great.
If your mom,
It's
You stop and you go, hey,
keto.
listen, ma.
Better than slave
it's
hair
better,
removal.
better than slave harem. All right.
yeah,
So
if your mom sticks in the room, make sure you're watching episode 1 and 2, the censored version. But start with episode 3. It's fair game.
Yeah,
Go
and
you
then
gotta
uncensored
your
ease
or
mom
you're
you
walks
gotta
in
going.
and
ease her
calls
in.
you a
Yeah, you
pussy
gotta
for watching the censored version.
yeah you gotta ease her in with the first 2 episodes though, and then you hit her with the third.
But yeah, great series. It did not let me down. Also, there's a fun, what is it? There's some fun Easter eggs in the opening where how'd it go? Like they were referencing old 80s VNs with the opening. So if you're a savant, you'd know what's up.
All right. Well, anyways, thank you, Toast, for helping to cover Futoku no Guild, or
Definitely better than anything else this season by a long shot. What did I give Blue Lock? Not as high.
Futoku no Guild, or Guild of Depravity. Again, it's a manga original, I believe, again, and made by TNK Studios. TNK Studios is known for their work in a lot of other rom-com ecchi stuff, whether it's High School DD,
Ah,
maybe, I mean,
yes,
not
the
a ton of
famous rom-com School Days.
yeah, School Days. As well as more recently stuff like Redo of Healer, and that's or Redo of Healer, Kondagal Jet Girls, High School DD, Goon Squad. They all kind of
Goon
combine to
Squad.
yeah, the Goon Squad. They all gathered together to help animate this series. So
Do you think
if you
they
like
like
that
this
sort of
series? I
what,
think they like this series. This
yeah, I mean
series
they
is
they clearly
very
all came and
lighthearted.
executed on it. I didn't say like they did a bad job in executing. They did a good job in executing. Um, so if you want to see them all kind of executing their style, their proficient style in action, I guess check this out. But yeah, thank you very much, Toast, for helping to cover Tuna Guild. And next on the chopping block is, I believe, Nier. What do you have for us?
Yeah. So I watched Koukyuu no Karasu,
Yes.
also known as Raven of the Inner Palace.
And this is an actual novel original, or so it's written in
Yes.
anime. So most people will be like, "Oh, Spire, what's the difference between a light novel and a novel?" So it's like there's not like a strict line necessarily because a lot of the like novels sometimes have like pictures as well, but it's like it's a sort of difference where a light novel is sort of that where it's like it doesn't have that many pages, and like the novel is like a full actual book oftentimes. There's not a lot of series that have been translated into anime that are also depicted as novels. It's mainly something like this, and I believe the other main one of note is Kyokai Senjo no Horizon, or Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere. So
Yeah.
very few series actually get that sort of like full novel distinction. But yeah. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah. So this is a Bandai Namco Pictures.
Yeah, they hired like 50 different subcontractors, but I believe the
Yeah,
main like
production.
production is headed by
Um,
Bandai Namco,
yeah,
and probably
Bandai
the money too.
Namco.
And they
They've
also
done
have
Iruma-kun, Birdie
yeah,
Wing. They've helped with stuff like Gintama and Aikatsu as well.
yeah. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I believe the main like bulk of the management staff, not the bulk, but it's like um the director, the
yeah,
character designer, as well as the chief animation editor, and the color setting people. They are mainly
they
from
seem like
Gintama
mostly from
Inuyasha.
Gintama people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gintama, Inuyasha movies, stuff like that, and they hired some of the other people that did some like mecha stuff, Gundam, MAME. Both the art director and like the sound director are actually from MAME. We're at the borderline actually.
right.
uh, but also a lot of them, like a majority of them, are female in this one, which is actually pretty funny too.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's sort of the Gintama crew, the Inuyasha crew that's coming to bear here.
but yeah. This is a how do I describe this? this is sort of a like mystery series. It's sort of like a mystery of the week kind of thing.
Okay.
Set in ancient China. I don't think it really gives a date or anything. I don't even think it's like I
I
don't
mean,
even
it's
know.
like a general like
Yeah, it's just general like emperor, Chinese emperor
the
style.
stuff that we all like, the stuff that Asian like.
Yeah,
I don't know if
romanticized. Yeah,
yeah
it's just
yeah. It's like
romanticized ancient China,
yeah,
right?
like
So
Nier and I know about this, but it's like I mean, most like Asian people know about it. This, but it's like like this sounds kind of like weird, but it's like I don't think white people you know how it's like white people write about like Don Quixote, like sort of that feudal knight, like medieval romance, like Game of Thrones
yeah,
kind of thing, right? This is our Game of Thrones. Like I don't think
yeah.
you guys understand
Like
that this like Chinese setting is
it
like
doesn't need to
our
have like for a lot of ancient Chinese stuff.
it doesn't need to
You
have a
don't.
date.
It doesn't need to be set on a specific time period or
Yeah,
like have specific historical characters in it.
yeah.
Like you can just have like
These
Chinese
the certain
people
setting
in
like
flowing
temple setting.
robes
Jump.
Yeah, exactly.
with like thick makeup on, and it's like
Yeah.
this is
This is our medieval
peak
romance.
peak aesthetic.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. This is what
um
Asians love.
Does someone
this is
jump 3 times in this?
yeah
Yeah,
no
What the
but
fuck?
this
Okay.
does have
Not
magic.
authentic enough.
So
this isn't made by Chinese people. It's only
yeah, so
has a
this is
Chinese setting.
an ancient Chinese setting where
Uh-huh.
it's very much entrenched into the like imperial court kind of
Yes.
stuff. So the basic setting is our main character, Liu Shoshu, is I believe they call her like the Raven's consort or something. And she's one of the Emperor's consorts, but she doesn't do nighttime duties, which I'm sure everyone can gather what a consort
Yes.
is from that.
Yeah, like
Um,
making him dessert.
Yeah, like making him pancakes at 3 in the morning. But she is effectively a wizard. She's the Imperial Wizard. She has
You
magic.
just said that there's
Um,
no magic, bro.
I said there is magic.
Oh, well then yeah. So then why
Magic-
doesn't someone jump 3 times in this yet? Fuck.
Because
Magic
nobody
and
nobody has been a heavenly swordsman of the heavens yet.
Yeah.
So
Dragon Lords, yes.
yeah. So the initial the series sort of opens up with a I guess what is it, like disgraced prince sort of coming back and reclaiming the throne of the emperor.
Yes.
Sort of doing an uprising.
Kills the Emperor's
and
soldier, I believe. Right.
he doesn't immediately kill her. So he overthrows her, he puts her in prison, and then everyone's like, "Bro, why didn't you just fucking kill her, dude? What the hell?" And the emperor's like, "If I kill her with no evidence, then I'm no better than her, right?"
Of course.
Yeah, so if you kill your enemy, they win. But he goes to the Raven's consort, who's our main character, and basically he gives her this jade earring. And he makes a request of her, basically like, can you figure out whose earring, like who owned this earring, basically.
Mhm.
And through like that request, it's sort of discovered that the person whose that earring belonged to was like there was like a spirit haunting the earring, and through that, like some mystery stuff, they discover that the person whose earring is someone that was framed for murdering the prince's mother, and through that they gather evidence that the Empress Dowager is the one who set it all up and framed all these people, and then he gets the evidence and he fucking cuts her head off. And then he becomes like, emperor, obviously. And then after that initial setup, it's effectively it's a lot of like mystery of the week. A lot of it is like, it's very much it sort of has like a Mushishi kind of vibe to it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking too, because it's like it had. I mean, like even from what you just described, right? Not even like just like you like telling me it's Mushishi, but it's like it both has like the mystery, but it also has this sort of like somber, dark, like supernatural kind of thing, right? More
Yeah,
like
so
slower pace.
it's a very supernatural setting, right? It's obviously the ancient China, but it's an ancient Chinese setting where a lot of like ancient like customs and like traditions and stuff, which obviously back then a lot of things were founded in superstition and ancient spirits and like laying people to rest and stuff like that. This is sort of a world where all of that is like reality. Like ghosts are real, heaven is real, stuff like that, and people
But
just
it's
sort
like
of know
it's
that,
still
right?
focused.
It's
Yeah, but it's still
it's
focused around it. It's still focused also around like the imperial like court scandal or like the drama kind
yeah,
of thing.
a lot of the mysteries are sort of centered around like it's Mushishi, but she doesn't. So our main character isn't like a traveler, right? So she is still rooted within the imperial court. She's obviously not allowed to leave like the imperial palace grounds. So a lot of the mysteries sort of revolve around conspiracy, abuses of power, stuff like that. Later on, obviously, they get a bit more supernatural. There's like a sort of overarching plot where there's, this this ghost that's going around like possessing people and stuff, and that's sort of, I guess, like the overall like villain, quote unquote. But it's not like super prevalent. Yeah, it's very mystery of the week. It's pretty episodic. And it's quite good.
It's actually pretty interesting because it's like you mentioned that they stay in place, right? And it's like usually a lot of the supernatural, like the one where the supernatural person solves the mystery, usually doesn't stay in place. And the reason is because not only does it allow the writer to create sort of quote unquote easy variety, right? Because then they just travel to different places and you can just make up new characters and you don't really have to develop them that fully. You can just be like, yeah, this mystery is happening and like you just have them stuff, right? And it creates all these different situations while also allowing for easy character creation. Um, and you can go back and forth. And also, you don't have to develop a method for the main character, to be like, I have these powers because, or like, you don't have to have the character like explain their powers and do all this stuff to the other people, right? Because she's just gonna solve the problem and go away, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, she kind of stays and does kind of like do these sort of like more thorough interactions, from what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So it kind of ends up becoming like a something like a Hinamatsuri. I believe you also watched Hinamatsuri before, right? Yeah, Hinamatsuri, as well as like and so or something like I mean, this isn't like a mystery kind of thing, but it's like something like a like Arakawa Under the Bridge kind of thing, where it's like it's a very like it's everybody's in place, but it's like you're also still meeting like weird shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
like
is. So, again, obviously this being an ancient Chinese setting, when we were covering this in the previews, I really thought it was going to be very like, I thought this was going to be like a drama. And I really thought it was going to be like very like political, like intrigue heavy. It was going to be like,
Yeah, it was just gonna be
the whole
drama. It was
like
gonna be soap drama.
web of there's a web of all these
yeah,
different
yeah.
character motivations and stuff. But like I said, it's quite episodic. And because again, it's not like a traveling kind of thing. I really thought it was gonna be like one of those series where it just introduces every single character in the first episode, and then you're kind of just like expected to be able to keep track of everything.
Right.
But it actually collects the cast quite slowly. And like the main characters that like are really sort of relevant to, I guess, the overall plot, are obviously, the ones that show up the most. And a lot of the side characters are sort of just like, they're very obviously there to just like help, right? Like they'll be like, the emperor's like one of the dudes is like a spy, right? And then another dude is like the emperor like specifically assigns this character to protect Shoshu, which is the main character, right? And so he sort of only comes up when like, like physical conflict arises. But then it allows like the main characters to sort of have their like they're solving the mystery, but then all these other side characters sort of only come in when they're really like necessary and relevant. And it sort of allows the main characters to shine a bit more, I think. And you don't really get, I guess, like bogged down or like polluted with like all these other like side characters that are like having these like side stories and stuff that aren't
Their
really
own
relevant
problems.
to
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like they're not really relevant to the mystery solving like theme, and so like they're sort of just there to help out, which I think is a pretty smart decision.
I think it's also a good idea that it's like the lean of the story is more towards like the drama is the core, like imperial court drama and the supernatural stuff is a core are core components of the mystery, but the focus of the mystery is still the mystery, as obvious as it sounds, instead of it being a mystery, but then the mystery is sort of a pillar of what is ultimately uh the imperial drama that it has to resolve. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not
Yeah,
it's not
so
like the mystery is taking a sidetrack. It's like a pillar, like a supporting bridge for the imperial drama, and then you're like, oh, you just have to fucking eat this imperial drama in the face.
yeah,
It's not like
so
that.
the way it's sort of structured is it presents you with a mystery, right? Like the
Yes.
episode starts off with, say, a character sort of coming to the Raven's consort and being like, I have a request, like, can you solve this like fairly vague mystery for me? And as you delve deeper into the mystery, it sort of presents you with these characters that are like doing political intrigue and conspiring, assassination or whatever, or they're abusing their position like within the court to get personal gain or whatever, and they're trampling their inferiors and making people's lives shitty, and sort of like when you're viewing that, it's sort of like it's a it's sort of just the natural like mystery unfolding, right? You're sort of viewing this like political intrigue as sort of just the mystery is happening because characters are doing this.
Right.
It's not like there's a mystery and also here's political intrigue. It's like they're
Yeah.
interwoven, right? And it's like,
Right. Exactly.
it's like, say a mystery is like, who killed this person? It's like, well, all these like other people that are doing political intrigue, and then you're sort of uncovering an assassination plot. And what I do really like about this series is that me and Spire have talked about it a lot, where a lot of mystery series will sort of hide like quote unquote mystery series, right?
Yeah,
Where
the
they
detective
will
series,
yeah,
or I like to call them.
they'll hide the mystery unraveling
Yes.
from the viewer, and then
Yes.
at the end the main characters would be like, so this is what happened, right? Whereas this series, it will very specifically like everything that you, the viewer, sees is basically what the characters are seeing.
Yes,
Very
yes.
there have been a couple times where like they'll send a character off to like gather information, but like when the character comes back, like you, the viewer, learn the information as the main characters are also learning that information. And so like the viewer can sort of like go along and solve the mystery with the main characters, and it is an actual mystery series, which is something you unfortunately don't see too often. But yeah, I think this series is quite good. In terms of audio visuals, I think it's a little bland. The color
I
palette,
think the pale palette really kind
yeah,
of
the color palette is fairly muted.
yeah. I
Which I
mean,
think is
it's obviously a purposeful decision, but
it
it's also
is,
kind
but
of like
it's a bit unfortunate.
Mhm.
Because I think like ancient China is such a colorful it's such a colorful setting.
Yeah.
You have all these nobles wearing like these colorful robes, and
Yeah.
they're in this fancy palace with all the reds and the golds, and
Right, exactly.
you can really go all out with a color palette in
But then
ancient
they
China.
decided to go full like kind of
Yeah,
shoujo, like
they
Chinese kind
went
of like
very
pale, kind of like yeah.
very pale, muted palettes, which in some scenes, like the I forget if it's in episode 1 or 2, but there's like the bath scene,
Mhm.
which I think is really, really pretty. but like overall the palette is a bit muted, which is unfortunate. The animation, I mean, it's a mystery series. It doesn't really need to be all that great, but you know, it serves its purpose. The art style is pretty nice. I do really like the eyes in this series. And they do the whole like, you know, court lady like pale makeup look really well.
Right.
You know, they've got the bright red lipsticks and stuff, and the thin eyebrows. You know, it's all very it's very you know, time accurate. Like nothing really feels out of place for like an ancient Chinese setting.
Mm.
Yeah, overall it's very solid. Yeah, I do like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one thing I did want to mention as well is the music. The music is really really nice. It's
Right.
really really good. For like an ancient Chinese setting. The music I believe here's
And you're
listed.
and you're talking about the not just the OPED, like you like the
Yeah, like
overall
the
OST as well.
background. Yeah, the
Yeah,
background
exactly.
music. The OP I'm not big on. I'm not big on the OP.
Mhm.
Although I do really really like the ED. But yeah,
Oh yeah, I like the ED too.
I
It's
like the
really
ED
good.
a lot. But like the background music, I do like quite a bit.
Mhm.
Mal lists the music for Asami Tachibana, who's worked on stuff like Haikyuu, Precure, Darling in the Franxx, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think she did a
It's
really good
very
job.
yeah.
But yeah, I do think this is an overall very solid series.
Yeah, I
If
think
you're
I think they
into,
brought in the good people. They executed very well, like the Gintama people as well as the veterans and people like Tachibana Asami doing the music direction.
yeah,
But they brought in a lot of heavy hitters for sure.
yeah, it's a very solid package overall. I think if you're into a mystery series, you'll definitely like this. If you're into like sort of Mushishi style thing, you should definitely check it out. Um, it's got a good setting. It's got a good aesthetic. It's got solid characters. It's just a very solid package all around. Um,
Yeah,
Definitely recommend it.
I was glad for you too because like once we zoomed in on the series and you kind of selected it, I was kind of like, because you know how I feel about these sorts of series, and it has like a chance of like it has like a 30%. It's like a Pokemon move, where it's like it has a 30% chance of missing or
Just
whatever, but it's like it's
exploding. Yeah,
or like becoming like Thunderbolt Fantasy randomly, and you're like,
yeah,
okay, what just happened? And so I'm glad that it became a very like solid series. So.
yeah.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much, Nier, for helping to cover Koukyuu no Karasu. This is a novel original, not just a light novel, a novel. So if you're going to read it in the original Japanese, get ready for a lot of text, not just, the usual rom-com, haha, like whatever, pictures every 10 pages or whatever. But yeah, pretty good series, again, headed by Bandai Namco, and they hired a lot of heavy hitters, mostly from the Gintama and Inuyasha stuff. So yeah, please do check that out. And last but not least, we have Dark here. Which series are you
Keep
gonna
up the good, keep up the good fight, Dark.
do?
Is your series gonna be good or bad? You have to break the knot tie.
My series is good.
Well then, yeah.
Mhm.
Can't believe you got the odd one out, Spire. Sucks to be you.
Mine was pretty shitty, yeah.
But yeah, so I am covering Bocchi the Rock.
Yes. This is a manga original, I believe, right?
Yes,
Yes,
I
this is
believe
a
so.
manga original. It is the Cloverwork series.
Though, from a lot of people, or well, not a lot, but from a couple people I've seen talk about this who have read the series, they do say
Mhm.
that this has been far like, the manga's fine, but this has been like far much more of a
I
better
mean,
experience.
this elevates
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
by a lot.
Yeah,
Like
I can
this,
tell.
Yeah.
Like I watched it too. I was like,
That's rare in
yeah,
manga.
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it
But
is very
Yeah.
rare for these,
this,
After
especially
like
these
after
days.
this,
seeing it, I'm not surprised.
this
It's like,
Yeah,
series is something where it's one of those few cases where it sort of takes the manga and sort of is like,
yeah.
okay, like we're going to actually like use like the
Put our
animation
backs into it.
medium as
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
way to like actually elevate this.
Yeah. Especially these days where it's like anime are not essentially, but they literally are used for promotionals pretty much. And it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, we're just going to do this. We're just going to do straight at it, fuck you kind of thing. And it's just 12 episodes by. Like this is like it actually, they put their back into it. So yeah. Sorry, go on. This is Cloverwork series, I believe. the director directed Aka 13 before this. But other than that, this is their second major direction, like main direction thing. Script, the person doing script, Yoshiterika, helped with Tiger and Bunny, Tower of God. A lot of the other people, like they are like all the other like character designer, music directors, animation directors are all from they're mainly collected from the Wonder Egg Priority Squad. If you
Wonder Egg, wasn't that terrible?
the plot at the end was a little
It
bit iffy,
fell
but I believe,
apart.
but audio visually
the
it was
problem.
okay, right? Audio
Don't you
visually it
mean
was
it
okay.
Audio visual, it was
cracked?
phenomenal. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and I believe that shows up here in Bocchi, the Rock, and so most of the crew here are from Akebi-chan no Sailor Fuku. They're from Wonder Egg Priority. They helped with a lot of stuff like the animation director did like Sonobisk doll a little bit. Art director did and I believe one of the other like color people did like Horimiya. They did Love Live, stuff like that. So they're a veteran very familiar with this style of like slice of life stuff. They're mainly from the Wonder Egg Priority Cloverworks / A1 Pictures crew that they were collected here to do. So that's pretty much that how that rolls out for the staff.
so yeah, this is a series about um our main character, Hitori Goto. And she's in high school and she learned how to play, or rather, what was it? So it starts out she's in middle school, and she decides that she wants to change herself,
Because she's an introvert.
to make some friends. Yeah, and make some friends. And lo and behold, she decides to learn guitar in middle school, in order to have like a talking point and try to meet people through that. And then you fast forward to her in middle school learning to play guitar exceptionally well, and then posting like original songs and stuff to YouTube and getting a decent not like huge following, but like she gets some views and shit like that, and
What is it?
people
She had like
generally
30,000.
people generally like enjoy her songs.
Mhm.
But she winds up literally not accomplishing anything else other than that in middle school. Just kind of the bit that you just flash forward like 4 years or 3 years have gone by and nothing's essentially changed other than her being able to play guitar, sing, somewhat. But so now she's decided that she wanted to join or rather, no, I think it was that she would still wanted to change herself, and then while carrying her guitar to try and attempt to use that as a talking point, someone notices her in a park, and this girl decides to ask her to play in her band. And since Hitori has crippling social anxiety, she can't
Same.
refuse. And that would be Nijika Ijichi.
Yes.
Blonde hair, yellow haired girl, whatever you want to call it. And she is in a band with Yamada Ryo, the haired, sort of like boyish, I guess you could say, girl.
Yeah.
Like
So
gender
kudere.
ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the cooler,
Yeah.
boyish.
Kind of like the cooler, but she's like kind of blanking out here and there. It's like she's just like, oh, okay, this is how it is, and then people are like, what? Kind of that sort of
Yeah,
girl,
she
right?
is. One of the other bits is that she is a loner,
Yeah,
rather than lonely.
you're right,
So
exactly.
yeah. And then they're so what was I gonna say? So yeah, they have their like first performance as a band, since their other guitarist bailed on them last minute, and which I really like this aspect about it. Obviously spoilers, but they bomb their first night. You don't see it as much. Like it's not that bad, but it's like when they talk about it afterwards, it's like yeah, they bombed. Like they did fucking terrible. Like They were out of sync with each other. And yeah, it's just like wasn't a good show whatsoever. And I guess like to go off of that, I kind of really liked that sort of aspect so far. I think my main gripe, not to like get too all over the place, is that there's not like a lot, like since it's slower now, there's not like really a lot of music so far.
So
There's a
my
couple
my
of
my
little
thing was,
points, but
yeah, my I don't know whether I would call this like a full disagreement with your statement, but it's like I think obviously you'll probably cover this a little bit later as well. We can get into it, but it's like I think so many things are going right with like Bocchi the Rock, or so many things were going right with Bocchi the Rock. But then I remember telling you like when I first started watching the series, like everything's kind of going well. Like there's like good audio visuals, there's like good comedy, there's like everything. But there's that like 10% missing. And then I kind of realized that in the first two episodes at least, there's a lot of like focus on just how Bocchi is a loner. And how she has to kind of deal with being an introvert and not being socially adept. And in my opinion, that kind of for me personally, that kind of took away from the proper development of the cast interacting with each other as well as Butchie interacting with the rest of the characters. And the overall pacing and nature of the story, which makes sense within the story, like from an intra-story perspective, right? Because obviously she's a loner, but like was kind of uncomfortable with it from an episodic episode perspective. You sort of like know what I'm saying?
yeah, it takes
Yeah,
up a lot of time. Like it could
yeah,
have been, it could be definitely, it could have been spaced out more,
yeah.
especially because it kind of does run similar routes like throughout the episodes
Right,
of
right,
how
right.
her social anxiety, like, you know, takes like control in these situations essentially.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah.
I mean makes sense conceptually, but as a
Yeah,
show
yeah. Inside the
does
story, it
wind up
makes sense. Yeah,
running. Yeah, it does kind of run in circles in certain parts. I
yeah.
think it's starting to like pick up that a little bit with the most recent episode.
I think episode three
Um,
and four were like once like everybody got into the groove and were like shooting shit back and forth and like the band was developing and the comedy was developing and everything. It was like it was good. It was really good. Yeah.
so yeah, and that's kind of where it's at. I'm not gonna spoil like too much about the fourth character, but she joins in for the singer, and currently now they're like working on their first original song. I think there's been a pretty decent amount of trivia for like bands, and there's been some like very minor, I feel like, music trivia, but a lot of it seems to be more like surrounded by like band trivia, as like what
Mhm.
is a like indie like forming band, or just like a like a ragtag, a couple of people who want to do like band stuff, like what does that entail? Like how do you
Right.
start
So
essentially?
it's a little bit less focused on like music trivia and it's more just like how do you get a group, like what does it mean to be in like this underground like club and like do stuff, like some
Yeah,
light
like
trivia on that.
how do these clubs function? Like how do these
Yeah,
bands that play
exactly.
at these clubs make money? Stuff like
Right.
that.
Hmm.
Um, and that's been, I think that's been really cool.
Yeah.
Fun. I think the character interactions have been really, really good. I think the
Yeah, the
highlight
character
for me so
comedy is
far has
really
been
good.
like the like pacing of the comedy and dialogue, and the
Yes. Yes.
delivery has all like the
Yes.
performances have been really killer.
Hmm.
And I think between that and the audio visuals being really, really good, and a
Hmm.
lot of like comedic style change things,
Yeah.
and a lot of like audio and just pacing based comedy has
Yeah.
been probably, I would assume, since I haven't read this, I would assume that is what people are saying when they're like, this really elevates the um like the story, like the property.
Yeah, I haven't read the manga, but like I would have bet like even before we had this discussion, right? Like as I was watching the anime, I was like, yeah, there's no way that the manga is like way better
It
than this.
captures
Like
the, yeah,
yeah,
like
Yeah.
but with a lot of like the back and forth with characters and just the even like the smaller points of like not having like it's not the most major thing, but when they're doing like the because even in a manga it wouldn't really capture it as much, but when they're doing the dice roll like icebreaker game,
Hmm.
like just the small like drum roll between them and stuff was like I feel like it would have been easier to have just dead air essentially as like while that scene's going on, right? But
Right.
they didn't.
Right. Right.
And so I feel like it made the scene and like the conversations they were having flow way better.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is one of those things where I feel like if you haven't picked it up, like again, I haven't read the manga, but I would just say just watch this because it seems to be doing a lot more and a lot,
Yeah.
and just like I said, the conversation, the pacing, just the performances have been solid and like really good to the point
Hmm.
where I would imagine even if I was someone who read the manga and enjoyed it, I'd be like, well, no, this is kind of like the
The standard.
definitive experience for this like
Yeah.
series.
And yeah, I would totally agree. And I think again, the only like kind of minor gripe ish I have about it was just what I mentioned before with I think the front loading of Bocchi's introvert like flaw kind of introspection, kind of dragging down the pace a little bit. But other than that, like the audio visuals, the general structure of the character interactions, the comedy, just like everything else was just like so on point. It was like boom, 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 boom. I have like essentially nothing to complain about. And even like the kind of like trivia at times was a little bit more unique than just like, oh, guitar. Like it actually like tried to do a little bit more of like explanation and stuff like that, which was nice as well. So
Yeah.
I really did like that. And yeah, I think it definitely elevated the series in an anime format, which is exactly what we want from our anime. We don't want just straight adaptations, just like, oh yeah, we're just making Studio White Fox or some other like random, Sounds Again studio or some B tier, C tier studio. We're just gonna have them straight out adapt this. We want like something to worth it to watch anime for, and I think this just did a really good job with that. So
Yeah. And again, can't really stress enough that like I think the audio visuals in this are really fucking good.
yeah,
Like
it's very surprising.
there are a lot of frames that you don't expect to be there.
Yeah, there are a lot of really, 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 really impressive cuts in this. There's a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
cuts that are like really cool references to older series. Like there's a lot, a lot, a lot of passion behind this project.
I think the Wonder Egg Priority people like really just came together and like once they had because Wonder Egg Priority was an anime original, right? So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they took this like original source and then they like spent all their time just focusing on the animation. I think that's what happened, and
Yeah.
that's
And they're like, wait a minute, we don't have to do that.
yeah, exactly. We don't have to make a shitty plot. We could just animate something really decent, and then it'll just be really good. So yeah. Um,
But yeah,
yeah.
I feel like
Oh yeah. Also,
without getting too much
sorry
into
for
like plot.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, yeah,
About the
you,
plot.
you can go. I was gonna say without getting too much into plot, I'm not sure there's like a whole lot else to really say. Like if you
Yeah, most of this just like band development. It's something like if you've seen like K-On! And stuff like that, it's probably similar to
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you like that
The
sort of
the last thing I wanted to say on this was back in the previews, I made the joke of so this is K-On! 2. And I kind of like genuinely unironically like believe that. Like this is like
it
this
kind
is
of
like
This is a
like
in a good
this
way. In a
is
good way. In
yeah,
a good
like
way.
this is like this generation's like K-On! Series.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it,
And
it
I
it's
honestly
fucking
think people are
good too.
missing out
Like
if they don't like watch this. If
yeah,
and if
like,
they
this
like this
this
sort of
this show is really fucking good.
yeah,
yeah for a layman like for a for a layman's like thing I guess to say about it. It has an 8.33 on Mall, which like doesn't happen
yeah,
for
with these
series
sorts of like
like
premises.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Usually it's like capped at like a 7 or something like that, or 7.2
Yeah,
or
it's like
yeah.
you might be lucky to get like a 7.5 because there's gonna be a bunch of people who are like, it's a bunch of girls like but one. Like,
yeah,
okay.
exactly. Oh, also, by the way, um, when I went through the voice acting cast, I was a little bit surprised. So it's like just going very generally going through the voice acting cast. The main two girls, I believe the first girl, Hitori Goto, and I believe the yellow haired girl who is the Ichichi Nichika, who is sort of like the Tsukomi in the group, right? The one who's like, what are you talking about, blah blah, blah," right? Those two are a little bit less experienced. I believe they both have around 1 or 2 years of experience. Um, Yoshino Aoyama, who voices Hitori Goto, she comes from the 2D idol stuff, like what was gonna say, Wake Up Girls, right? I believe. And Sushiro Sayumi comes from, I believe, Selection Project from last year. But yeah, but those don't have that much stuff.
No. She's from she. I mean, she has like a
No, she
decent
has
amount
experience.
under
Sorry,
her
sorry. Yeah,
belt.
yeah. Sorry.
Like,
It's Mizuno Saku who is less experienced. Mizuno
yeah,
Saku is
Mizuno
the one who
Saku
comes.
has other roles, I
She's
think, right?
yeah. She
She's
it's
in the
actually
show that Nier discovered, and then
yeah.
Selection
Koukyuu no
Project, yeah.
Karasu. Yeah, she's doing the main role
Which is
in
kind of
Koukyuu no
crazy
Karasu.
that she got 3 mains.
Yeah, after
Oh,
1 year of like Dead Space, where it's like her last role before these two like main roles was again Selection Project in 2021.
She's
yeah.
probably got some connection.
Yeah. So I think her, like, honestly, she could be one of the contenders for newcomer voice actor or new blood voice actor of the year. Honestly, for
Yeah,
me,
especially
just
because like
this one,
her performance as Rio has been really
pretty
killer.
good. Yeah, and her Koukyuu no Karasu role has been pretty
It's
good
quite
as well.
good.
Yeah.
I generally thought like, because when I was watching Koukyuu no Karasu, like I forget who exactly I thought it was, but I legit thought it was like a veteran voice actor that I had heard before.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was looking up the voice cast, I was like,
Just like
wow,
3 roles, and 2 of them are
yeah,
this season.
yeah,
Yeah, I would have to go back, and I didn't realize that she was a newcomer after like
Yeah.
I watched the first couple episodes. Like I thought it was yeah, I'd have to go back and look up too, but I thought it was someone else who I was thinking who typically does like kudere or like
Mm-hmm.
these type of, ambiguous or like slightly gender ambiguous like characters, like girl characters.
Yeah. But you know what was the most surprising thing though? You know the sort of like not like tsundere, but like curt, like boyish onesan of the yellow hair girl, right? Right?
Oh
Ichiji
yeah,
Seika,
Uchi
the magic.
Uchida
Yeah, that's
Maya.
Uchida Mai.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I think is
You can sort of hear.
hilarious.
Yeah, so when she does like surprise voice, like she did, like Soka or something like that, right? When her voice becomes a little bit lighter, or when she's throwing her voice out there, you can hear Uchida Maya's like original tone. But otherwise, I was like, wait a minute, wait, this is being voiced by Uchida Maya. I was very surprised. So that's also very interesting in my opinion. But yeah, it's overall it's just a very, very, very good, like, just it's what we want anime to be, right? We want anime to elevate the medium, or the story that we're reading, and I think this does that very well. So any last words on Bocchi the Rock, Dark?
Yeah, watch it, It's also
Yeah.
ranked higher than K-On! On Mall, so when you think about
Yeah.
it,
You're right. You're right.
not the
That's
K-On! Movie though.
the Kale movie was okay though, although it's like, it's like a truncation thing, so you can't really. It's
But
hard
is
to
it?
rate it too high.
But how is it better than that? What is it better than the God knows scene in Haruhi?
I think comparing it to one scene is a little bit hard,
Is
but
it though? Because that's the best rock scene I've ever seen in anime.
oh. Anyways, thank you, Dark, for helping cover Bocchi the Rock. Um, and again, it is a manga original, adapted by Cloverworks, and everybody in the management, the voice acting are just they're firing on all cylinders, and created this. So please do check it out, especially if you do like this kind of stuff. And that was the last of our reviews for today, and we are going to head straight over to our news. We don't have too much in the way of news this time around, although we do have I want to say slightly somber stuff in one of our segments, and I believe those who have been keeping up with anime industry related news recently might know what I'm going to be talking about. But yeah, first off, Japanese prosecutors are accusing former Tokyo Olympic Organizing Committee Takahashi Haruyuki of allegedly accepting bribes from Sun Arrow, a toy merchandise company known for making plush toys for Studio Ghibli films and other anime. The prosecutors believe the 78-year-old Takahashi has received a total of 8 million yen, or about 54,000 US dollars, from the company. So this is an extension of like, you know how the Tokyo Olympics scandal. We talked about this right before about um I believe
Yeah.
Kadokawa or like Gainax or
I
whatever
think it was
studio
Kadokawa,
is.
right?
Yeah, Kadokawa being involved in this, and apparently another organization again called Sun Arrow, who's selling merchandise sometimes under with like Studio Ghibli in partnership with Studio Ghibli and stuff like that, are also getting caught up in this. What I'm afraid of is that like more and more companies are going to come up, and it's not going to be, and it's going to be even worse. But it's still under investigation. It's still going to come up, and we're going to see how it all resolves. But we're hoping that it's not going to be like a glut of like a billion different companies. So yeah. Next, Shueisha's weekly Shonen Jump magazine started its quote-unquote Great Thanksgiving campaign on Wednesday in celebration of reaching 700,000 readers / subscribers every issue of the digital magazine. So again, the continued digitalization of the manga industry. Again, these days I sort of call it the triple threat of what's happening in the anime industry, or the triple transition, which is one is the digitalization and like the sort of 3D CG creation, right? The second is, I guess it's like, yeah. So it's like the first is the digitalization, second is the 3D CG transition, and the third is the general sort of like merger, acquisition, and like creation of these like in-house studios a lot more by the bigger publishers, being like, hey, fuck it. Like we don't need these other subcontractors. We're just gonna create like, especially with something like Bandai Namco Pictures and so on, and a lot of what how Production IG kind of turned out. So those are the three things going on, and this is one of them: the continuing digitalization of the anime and manga industry. The digital magazine hit over 700,000 readers. Meanwhile, the Japan Magazine Publishers Association, or JMPA, revealed in August that the magazine's print circulation, so this is physical copies, fell to less than 1.3 million copies during April to June of this year. So again, it's the sort of changing of the guards, right? So, starting Wednesday until January 31st, the digital weekly Shonen Jump magazine will have 5 reader appreciation campaigns. 1, 300 yen off on subscription fee in January for new subscribers and new renewing subscribers. 2, 5 back issues will be available free for subscribers. 3, smartphone case featuring Shonen Jump series. 4, 500 yen Quo card with QUO card with original design for 10,000 subscribers. And 5, special contests from One Piece, My Hero Academia, and Jujutsu Kaisen for subscribers during campaign period. What I'm kind of afraid of also is like, I'm afraid of Kadokawa slowly merging, because it's like Kadokawa and DMM people like that have a lot of like their higher ups are the ones designing and running sort of the microtransaction systems in their gotcha games, for instance,
Yeah.
right? Mobile games. I'm really afraid of what'll happen if once those people, and I know this will happen, those people fully transition or start heading the digital manga applications. You know what I mean? Because then they'll start running those microtransaction models fully onto you know, just having to read manga, right? We'll have to fucking do jump hoops and fucking, like a billion One Piece tweets and do weird shit just to read a chapter
Yeah.
of whatever it is. And I'm really afraid I don't want that to be the case. Like it's already bad enough that we're having to deal with all these like subscription models and weird stuff in what is currently the Wild West era of the digital manga age, as I kind of want to call it. But I do think that Kadokawa and DMM and like Shueisha and the people and those like publishers and like conglomerates will slowly transition a lot of their head management of their mobile games and like people who are good at fucking making those microtransactions into the digital manga apps. And that'll be the worst timeline, I think. So hopefully that won't happen, but again, continuing digitalization. This is the third piece of news, and this is a somber piece of news I was talking about. The weekly Bunshin tabloid newspaper reported on Wednesday that voice actor Sakurai Takahiro, known for a whole bunch of stuff, Griffith and Berserk, Tomioka Gyu and Demon Slayer, Suzaku, Code Geass, Rohan, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Reigen, Mob Psycho 100, bunch of stuff. He had been engaged in an extramarital affair for at least 10 years with a writer for his PS Genki which is his radio show again.
Yeah.
Takahiro, his Genki Takahiro travel radio show. The show abruptly concluded on Monday after 9 years. Sakurai's talent management agency, Intention, published a statement on Thursday that acknowledged the article's report and apologized to the unnamed woman, Sakurai's fans, and all involved. Weekly Bunshin reported that the writer with whom Sakurai had an affair was unaware that Sakurai was married until just before the recording of PS Genki Takahiro's
No.
final episode.
There's no way. I'm absolutely
boy.
calling bullshit on that.
Okay.
That's her. That's literally just her washing her hands of the drama. Like this chick, apparently she wrote for like the radio show. Like she's been writing for this dude for 10 years, and she didn't know he was married. Come on.
I think she like the thing is I think she was dumb enough to do that because not because like Takahiro Sakurai is like
I mean, she
super
definitely
good at covering
knew
it
he
all.
was married. Like,
Yeah,
like,
she knew he was married.
knew-
There's no
you
way.
don't write for someone's radio show
Yeah,
for
you don't.
10 years, and you're like,
They're
You don't-
pretty good at
you
hiding
You don't, I
stuff.
mean, you don't know someone well enough to A, write for the radio show for 10 years, and B, sleep with them, and then not discover that they're married.
I think
like-
what I'm saying is I think the writer took it as like, oh, he might be wooing another girl, but I don't think she was aware that he was like fully married because the newspaper added, see here how it says, the newspaper added that the writer was so shocked after finding out that Sakurai was married that she had to be admitted to the emergency room and retired from the writing business afterward.
yeah, okay.
Drama
So,
queen. Drama queen.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm calling
again,
BS on that regardless, friend.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
so-
you're not hitting me with that. I have a question.
and yeah.
Did we know he was married?
no, nobody knew he was married until all of this broke out. That's the thing.
Okay, so we
Um,
also didn't know he was married.
Yeah, Weekly Bunshin is essentially like the they're like Omega, like paparazzi on Omega steroids.
Yeah.
They are. There's like a running joke in Japan that like Weekly Bunshin just like finds out about everything. They know. They have eyes everywhere. Intention's Thursday statement, Intention being the agency, I believe, of Sakurai Takahiro. Thursday statement regarding the article also noted that Sakurai feels great remorse and will endeavor to win back the trust of his fans. By the way,
Oopsies. Oops.
Sakurai
Sorry.
Sakurai has had multiple rumors in the past. This is not in the article that I'm reading right now, but Sakurai has had multiple rumors in the past of potentially going out and having sort of love affairs with a bunch of like other like seiyuu and stuff like that as well. So this is
Listen, man. When you have a
Yeah.
voice like that, like, come on.
and also I don't mean to like insult Japanese people. I kind of do, but how do I say this? Japanese people, and you guys will know this when you guys like listen to like Japanese shows and see like comments online and stuff like that. Japanese people will call anything with like a slightly sharp chin and like a not hobo like look an ikemen. So it's like if anybody is like cleanly shaven enough and like isn't super obese, they'll be like, wow, ikemen. Like, blah, blah, blah. So it's like when people think like when like Western people when like English like when white people like read anime and they're like, oh, ikemen, like they think of like super like hot, sexy, like like anime boys. Like that's not what Japanese people think. And Japanese people think any like clean shaven, not super fat person is like an ikemen. And so
Yeah.
like Takahiro Sakurai is already above that. Like he's above average in like Japanese standards by that. So it's not surprising that he got around a little bit. So, to
So
say.
where does BTS fall into this category?
Whereas BTS, super ikemen, I think that's how they. That's the official phrase for it. But yeah, very unfortunate. Again, I- Takahiro Sakurai is probably going to, at best, receive a slap on the wrist for this. Especially since
I think
the other
he's too big. Like he's too big to really be
he's too big,
blacklisted.
and
Like
the other side is not big enough. It's not like the Lisa incident where it's like, yeah, you're Tetsuya Suzuki, but the other side is
but
also
the other
fucking
side is Lisa. Like
yeah,
what?
so you are gonna get hammered.
Yeah.
But it's kind of similar to again Okamoto Nobuhiko, and Okamoto Nobuhiko also married I believe who was it? Ogami Asuka, right? The voice actor behind Chieri in Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, right?
Yeah.
Who's also pretty famous as she was.
Yeah.
And he got away with like a very light slap on. Yeah, he like kind of like laid low for like the better part
Yeah.
of a year or 2
Yeah,
years,
just
and then
hang
he
your
came
head in
back.
shame and say, "Oops,
Yeah.
sorry."
Yeah, Namikawa Daisuke, who did who's very famous in and of itself, right? He he literally just went back the next day, and so I believe this is gonna be just like a slap on the wrist, which is it's a bad thing for the industry. I think for sure.
But what can
But
you do?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's bad, but it is understandable. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like his voice, like you can't recast him. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
too hard.
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
So
it kind of sucks, but it's very
Quick
unfortunate.
Spire, name
Yeah.
his most famous role. We have one chance.
I think the best thing, I think the like real
Griffith,
thing is
right?
just people being a little bit more wary
Yeah.
of him and others, where it's just like
Or actually, no, it's Cloud. What the fuck am I saying? It's Cloud, right? Because he did. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, but
No.
he's
Wrong.
also Lucio in Grand Blue. So
and Suzaku and Kogias. I think that's pretty.
yeah.
The correct
anyway.
answer is Inui from Tsukihime.
I don't know about that, bro.
But yeah, it's very unfortunate. Again, uh, this is another hit on check mark on, or another mark on the list of people who male voice actors or fact voice actors who think they can just kind of get away with stuff, and we're really hoping that as the industry progresses, this becomes much less common and much more a little bit more heavily punished if possible. But yeah. Anyways, last piece of news. This is one of those rare like anime kind of announcement kind of things that I thought was pretty funny. But there's a series called, what is it? This light novel, Berserk of Gluttony. 暴食のバーザク、俺だけのバーザクの暴食のバーザク、俺だけレブという概念を突破する. This is a light novel series that's inspiring an anime, and the reason why I
Alright,
pointed
you
this
want
out
that
is
one? I don't want this one.
I want to read the premise, is why I even put this up in the first place. But this is Seven Seas Entertainment is releasing both the novel series and its manga adaptation in English, and it describes the story. Fate Graphite, that is the name of the main character, by the way. Fate Graphite.
That's so fucking badass, dude.
Is
Do
one of
you
the
know
four.
why his name's Graphite? What color is Graphite?
Oh
Black.
baby, yeah.
Yeah.
Nier's already. You can't. He's
know-
already at the edge.
You know what really kills me about this story is
Right.
this main character's design. I fuck with so hard. I think it's really fucking cool.
So, let me read the rest of the premise here because it's great too. Quote unquote. So Fate Graphite is one of the Forsaken, cursed with a skill gluttony. He is ever starving, never sated, till the day he kills a dying thief and devours a man's strength and his soul. The true hunger of Fate's gluttony has awakened, and if he can learn to control his power, he will at last be the master of his own destiny.
So
That is the
fucking
premise.
Badass, bro.
But yeah,
You should show this cover art, by the way, because it's like
yeah, Dark. Can you show the cover
What is
of like
this
either
fucking
cover of like
called?
it's Berserk of I can give me a second.
Berserk
I
of
got-
Gluttony.
Here, I got you right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
This is. God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I
This.
fuck with this
Yeah.
guy's look too.
like the main character, in my opinion, is fucking awesome. Like he looks so fucking cool. But then this female like main character is literally just like second player Asuna. Like
Yeah,
just
I was gonna
straight up.
say she's
Alicia,
awesome with
and
blonde hair,
Alicization or
blue.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
See if I can get this up.
By the first picture that Toast posted, by the way, this literally looks like if somebody took like a character design and then like Photoshop like the saturation hue, they just turned all the way to black.
Yeah. But it's so cool. It's
Check
so
that.
fucking cool,
Look
dude.
at that.
The ma- yeah, it's fine. Like I don't like the mask, but the rest is fine. I guess.
Yeah, dude, I think
Anyways.
the mask really pulls it all together.
Yeah.
His sword too, but it's pretty funny. But anyways, that's all I had for the
You,
news. I
you
just
know
wanted to point that out.
exactly what that sword looks like, right?
the cross, right? The cross, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, that was pretty much it for the news. We are going to move right on here, finally, to our shoutouts and callouts. Everybody here gets one shout out and one call out each. Shout out is one thing that you want to praise, 5 out of 5, thumbs up, like button, whatever it is, shout to the heavens. Can be any one person, place, or thing. Call out, obviously the exact opposite, something that you want to rant, stomp on, rage about, hate on with every fiber of your soul, and it can be any one person, place, or thing. And we start off with, of course, Near. Shout out, call, please.
I'm gonna shout out to all the absolutely blissfully ignorant motherfuckers online right now that are saying that like Makima is their waifu.
Yes. Yes.
I love all these guys. They're so precious.
Bro, what's so bad?
I think Pio just posted. It's like
Yeah.
somebody who cosplayed it, and then
There's
right after they posted.
it's such a good like 2-part story. Like it's perfect. It's so
Yeah,
perfect.
and then she posted. Just finished reading. She retweeted her own like cosplay tweet, and she was like, "Just finished reading Chainsaw Man, and I cannot believe I cosplayed
Why
this
did
bitch.
you
What the
need
fuck? I
to
hate her."
finish reading it though?
I mean,
Right? Like
It's
I
like-
haven't
so-
read Chainsaw Man, but the writing's on the wall by episode
yeah, I mean,
2.
so
That
the writing
like
is on
Makima's
the writing is on the
a
wall very
fucking
early
cunt.
on in Chainsaw Man. So like even in chapter 2, like you should realize that like Makima is not a good person, but
Yeah.
like you don't know. Like you genuinely don't know. Like But yeah, shout outs to those guys because they're really funny. I laugh every time I see them. As for callouts, it's also Chainsaw Man related. I'm gonna call out like fucking really annoying like Chainsaw Man like manga readers because holy fuck, they're some of the whiniest people I've ever seen. Like,
Oh, what happened?
so I keep seeing this fucking shit on Twitter where people are like, they're posting like stills from the manga and then posting it and comparing it like with direct shots to the anime, and they're like, it's not anywhere near as expressive. And it's like, yeah, because they're going for a more fucking grounded adaptation. Like, fucking deal with it, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
it's like not everything is going to be like super cartoony and exaggerated in this adaptation
Where's
because
the chainsaws?
the director has like specifically said they want a more like, as buzzwordy as it is, they wanted to do a more like cinematic grounded adaptation. Right?
Yeah,
like
with
they
more
didn't
fluid animation too.
Yeah,
It's
they
not
didn't
like
want everyone like fucking making pog faces in every panel like they do
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah,
manga.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the manga is very exaggerated. Like people are making like very exaggerated facial expressions.
Yeah, and that
like-
works with manga as well, but it's
Yeah,
not
it
the
works
same in
well with
anime.
manga
Yeah,
because you're like
you have the static images.
the way
of, like,
the way
character
manga
characteristic.
works is like you essentially have to like create motion with a static image, right?
Yeah.
But anime isn't restricted like that. It's a fucking animated medium. Like you're able to, animate facial expression and like animate like the human body. Like you don't need to.
The easiest way to express it is like, the Joey Wheeler face meme, right? That
Yeah.
works well as a static picture meme, but it doesn't work well as in like an animation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like that.
But yeah, just like I keep seeing people being like so picky, and it's like Chainsaw Man is one of the like it's just like one of the series that has had so much care, so much money, so much
Yeah.
like just talent and hard work and just like insane amounts of like attention put into it. And
Right.
people are really out here being like, not good enough. Like,
Yeah.
like, come on, dude. Like, people have had to fucking like, people have had just absolute dog shit adaptations for some of their favorite series. Like,
Mhm.
we've had the
And
fucking
they're like, I love it. Whoa.
yeah, like we've had shit where for a time, like
One
Fate
Punch
fans,
Man
all we
Season
had was
2
fucking
Koukyuu.
the Dean shit, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like, it's a pretty good adaptation in terms of like just raw adaptation, but in terms of like, getting a, like wanting to see like your favorite scenes like in motion,
Yeah. As an
you're
anime.
yeah, like the Dean adaptation of Fate is kind of not good for that, right?
Yeah.
Like
But
it
it
doesn't
is.
exactly look great in motion, but like
It,
obviously in some stills it's beautiful. But like, you know, it's very rare that an anime gets the treatment that Chainsaw Man has had. And honestly, in terms of like comparative like the raw treatment that Chainsaw Man has had,
Mhm.
there's like literally no comparison that you can make in terms of like
Yeah.
how much money an adaptation has gotten.
The closest like you could come to it like nearly in terms of like how much money like could have like kind of you saw the names and you saw the studios and you're like, oh, they're throwing a lot of money. It's like the closest would have been like I want to say maybe Spy Family and then like Tact Opus. I think those two would have been the closest recently.
Yeah,
But
or
like
like
beyond that, yeah.
Attack on Titan or something in the later
Yeah. I
seasons,
mean,
right?
but Attack on Titan, even then, like by this time, is like, it's already
Yeah.
established, right?
I mean,
Like, but yeah,
yeah, like Attack on Titan sort of had its name made with the anime, but it's like
yeah, exactly.
Chainsaw Man is in a very unique position where it was like mainstream before the anime even
Yeah,
came
exactly.
out, right? So, but yeah, it's like the Chainsaw Man looks really good. It's fucking gorgeous.
No, it
And
doesn't. No, it doesn't. It has CG. It has CG.
yeah, like the fact that people are really out here being like, "Oh, there's like 2.5 seconds of CG in this whole episode, so therefore it's bad," are fucking psychotic. And people that are like, the color palette isn't like literally exactly the same as the extremely like bright and noisy colors of the manga covers. This is bad." It's like, well, that wouldn't have worked. I'm gonna be honest with you, that it wouldn't have worked. Like if
Yeah.
you had a whole episode of those colors, like no. Like even fucking JoJo has
oh yeah, there you go. I
like
was gonna say.
yeah, like even JoJo uses those very striking colors sparingly for good
true.
reason. Because if you had a whole series like that, it would be hideous.
Yeah,
Like
You would lose your eyesight by that.
Yeah, remember when Bucciarati and Jono had the same color outfit?
yeah.
They were wearing both blue. I'm glad they changed it, even though it's pink.
Yeah. I mean I think the pink is fine.
It's fine. Or like both Jono and Bucciarati wearing blue in the manga. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
who's who?
Yeah. So thank you, Nier, for your shout out call out. What about you, Dark?
Oh, no. Hold
Huh?
on. Here you go.
Shout out call, please.
So my, jeez.
What
jeez.
is that,
Oh
bro?
no!
Anyway,
What? I just googled that and I got that. I'm like, oh.
You wanna put that on? You wanna
Oh,
put that on the
no,
I'm
screen?
putting
No,
that
you
on
don't.
stream. That is not.
Just put it in chat. Just put it in chat.
Yeah, put it. I'll post it in chat. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think my shout out is going to be to fuck. I probably had a better one, to be honest. But I think my shout out is gonna wind up being.
Oh well, God, this entire
Warfare
Twitter
2?
is.
Yes.
Well, yeah, of course. Look at the Twitter handle.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even see that until now.
But yeah, so I think my shout out is probably gonna be to Modern Warfare 2.
Yes.
Game good game. Fun to have a good Call of Duty again, you know?
Imagine.
I have my gripes with it as I do with every Call of Duty. It makes me mauled no matter what. It doesn't matter how good it is or not. Yeah, it's because like when someone kills me, it's bullshit. That gun's overpowered. And then when I can't get a kill with the gun, it's because the gun fucking sucks. So think about that for a second. But yeah, so game's cool. Third person mode works really well in it, which is kind of crazy. Gonna be very fun to see that in like Warzone and stuff too, I'm sure. If you like Call of Duty and you thought the last two were really bad, one, you shouldn't have picked them up. Two, definitely shouldn't have picked it up after you picked up Cold War, because I don't know what the fuck you were thinking.
Yeah, no.
And three, this is like kind of just an actual evolution of Modern Warfare 2019, which what all of the other ones should have been really. Oh yeah.
I mean, they
Call
should
of
have
Duty is
just not.
back.
They should have just not
Made another one. They should have even
Yeah,
made
they
Cold
should have
War.
just
It
like
should have
not
been,
made
they should
Cold
just
War.
stop. They should just do Modern Warfare 2 now. They should just not make another game until Modern Warfare 3 in like 2024,
Honestly,
2025.
they should, but they probably won't. They'll probably still
No,
keep.
they probably will not do that. Maybe if Microsoft buys them up fast enough, Get on it, Phil. But yeah, so that game fun. And then I think my call out's gonna be to almost in a similar vein in here, a bunch of dumb motherfuckers on the internet,
The classic, yes.
Yeah, because it's like, Bridget's been 20 years in the making for being trans for sure. Everyone
Okay.
believes that, and it's like, look, again,
Cascade the God.
yeah, I think Bridget being trans is fine, but one, you should probably retcon her fucking story because, her story literally being the talking point of, that conservatives use to oppress trans people and strip them of rights is like, parents gaslighting their children into becoming LGBT, should probably not be your story. You might want to change that. But then, there's also the detail of like, but yeah, then there's also people who, just in general, when a writer says that they knew what they were doing 20 years ago, they're fucking lying, by the way. Just going to throw that out there. That's why a lot of good writers, and this is a little bit of a transition into another thing, like, what was it? I think Ishikawa for 14, or I forget who said in an interview. It might have been Yoshi P, who was like, yeah, the team, like, didn't know what dynamic, like, we didn't have the idea for Dynamis when we made Shadowbringers, like the expansion before Endwalker, where Dynamis was like the major like point essentially,
Right.
which is real. It's like, yeah, we didn't have that idea, but the point is that we had a lot of these open ends and ideas that we pull together with something that makes sense, and you think that we had the idea. And that's when it's been effective because people don't realize
you
that
write
just,
you
like,
write the
wrote this
story
in.
so that way it ties together neatly in a way to where it feels natural, right? Like it
Right.
feels like a natural progression, and that everything sort of was planned out this way, but like realistically, no writer, like I don't give a shit what the Attack on Titan writer says, what fucking Oda says for One Piece, what fucking Daisuke says for Guilty Gear. No writer is out here planning their story fucking
10
20
years.
years in
Oh, yeah,
advance.
exactly.
It's not happening. Like
yeah, that's not a thing.
like sure, if some writers are writing like a self-contained story, they'll write, the beginning, the middle, the end, like the key points.
Yeah,
And
the
then
general idea of it, yeah.
yeah, like if it's like an ongoing story, like a manga, like sure, they'll have like, highlighted key moments. But in terms of like what they're doing week to week, like that shit's not all planned out. Like
Yeah.
that's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's also
And
like, bro, you didn't know how many games you were about to put this character into.
yeah, when
Like,
when
like,
Daisuke
what
when
are you
Daisuke
talking
is
about?
out here saying, yeah, like I had this planned for Bridget all along. It's just that
Bro,
the
you didn't
world
even
wasn't
plan for Bridget
like the world wasn't caught
to
up
be
yet.
in
It's like
Strive.
yeah, like Bridget wasn't in the last game. He wasn't like Bridget wasn't in. So Bridget hasn't been in Guilty Gear since Plus R, which was what, like 16 years ago?
Yeah, it
So
was a
like
very long time ago.
there's no way you planned this out to where it was like a complete fucking heel turn on the character's backstory into like what they identify as. And you totally planned this out and you were just waiting for the world to catch up. Like that's definitely not a thing. And
Right.
First of
also
all,
like
you're a bitch for doing that. One,
yeah, but it's also
like,
like
don't be a fucking pussy.
like not even that long ago when interviewers asked Daisuke about Bridget and like what the inspiration was, Daisuke literally just said it would be funny if there was a cute character but he was a guy. Like that's literally it. There's no actually, I'm waiting for the world to catch up for my true plans to be revealed. It's like, no, dude. Like
the
Yeah,
secret
and
villain, the James Bond villain.
people hit me with, well, why would he reveal it in in an interview? And it's like,
it's not like it's not
shut
a
up.
fucking
Like,
master plan, dude. Like he's literally blowing smoke up your ass to seem
Yeah.
like he's fucking cool and hip and with the
It's
times.
like you know what this discussion kind of reminds me of? It's like when people really try to find like all, all the meaning behind like the lyrics in Daisuke's like songs when it's pretty clear like his lyrics are
like
just shitty.
they're pretty. I mean, they're pretty like on the like you could just take them at face value. Like
Yeah.
I'd
And
say
most of
one.
them are pretty like incoherent.
Yeah, I mean most of them are, but like even the ones that do like have like obvious meaning behind them, like if you look at like the lyrics to Strive's like Leo's theme in Strive, right? It's like
Yeah.
you can obviously gather meaning from them, but they're literally told to you like straight up. Like you could the lyrics
yeah,
are
and like
what
the
the meaning
main theme
is.
for Strive, it's a bunch of
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
But
But,
Near, you forgot what you guys always talk about Bridget, but what about Testament?
Yeah, I mean Testament's another thing too. Testament is like another one where Daisuke's like, yeah, I always like, they were always non-binary. They were always planning to be non-binary, which is not true because Testament in plus R, which I'm pretty sure is like the first time Testament even showed up. Like that's like XX was like the first game Testament was in, right? Testament like at the time was effectively a metrosexual, right? He was a very masculine, like built man, but he was in feminine clothing, not women's clothing. He was in feminine clothing, right? Which is effectively what a metrosexual was. And at the time XX came out, like to be honest, a metrosexual was like that's like the furthest you got from like gender non-conforming outside of like drag queen, right?
Right.
And you can like I'll give it to Daisuke if he was honest and was like, yeah, I wanted to take Testament further and push that gender non-conforming like archetype and character identity into the modern era, which is fine. You could say that, but you can't just make this like very masculine, very well defined, muscular like man, and then like make him a very soft, effeminate character, and then say he's non-binary, or they're non-binary, sorry, and then say, yeah, this was the plan all along. Like that's not true, bro. You're literally blowing smoke up people's asses, and it's like
Hey.
it's really frustrating that people just take that and are like, yep, he must be telling the truth. Like, just
Yeah,
like
and I mean
like
again,
think for like just
A
a
true
second.
visionary to
the thing
predict
that
this
the thing
20
that
years in
gets
the
under my
future.
skin mostly is you see shit like what Apex is doing, and they are doing a very like stylized in Apex, but reasonable like depiction of a later in life person who transitioned from male to female, have a voice actor who is in that same scenario.
Yeah, so
And
the new
people are
character
just
in
like,
Apex is like
oh,
actually voiced by a male to female trans voice actor.
yeah. And it's like, you see
And gamers
that,
are like fucking
and then
frothing at
gamers
the
are like,
mouth.
nah, we're not doing that. But also, but Bridget, the trans icon, and it's like, guys, Bridget's story now is literally, again, it is the talking point that conservatives use to fucking strip rights from LGBT people.
Yeah,
Like,
where Bridget
they
was like
use the talking
literally
point
like
of Bridget
groomed.
being fucking groomed, like children being groomed, different gender identity or whatever, just as a point to like deny LGBT people the ability to like adopt. Like, and people are like, nah, but this was all planned. It's like, well, then that was a really bad plan. Like,
Yeah,
because
I
what
mean
this is very,
the
very
story
fucking
has
sus.
always, yeah, the story has, especially, I mean, in Guilty Gear, the story has never been good or sensible. I mean, most arcs is like fighting game stories, both in
No, I
BlazBlue and
mean, it
Guilty Gear.
doesn't have to be either, but if you're gonna like fucking jerk yourself off about what you're doing
Yeah,
here,
I mean, what I was getting to was that it's never been good, but now that it starts affecting like uh, like per relevant social issues of the day, obviously they had to be a little bit more careful, I think, around that topic at the very least, and they weren't very
yeah, I
careful
mean,
about
it's
it.
like it's one of those things where it's like you didn't put in the work, so don't fucking lie and like be like, oh no, it was planned for 20 years. It's like, okay, well, it's showing up like this, like detail for this character coming out wasn't even well done in the game that it was in, let alone the
Mm.
setup, let alone what it fucking means, like as representation.
Right.
Oh, that to me really irked me. And then as a short one too, fuck the fact that you can't gift mounts in FF14 anymore. Because that's fucking stupid. And they're like, oh no, it's because of widespread fraud. It's like, well, no, it's probably because you're being undercut and the yen fucking sucks cock right now. So
Yeah,
able to
they're
do
definitely
that.
just being greedy, but
And that's your like biggest money maker. Um, and the best part about this scenario is that the only reason why they're doing it, and the only reason why this fraud, quote unquote, could even happen, was because they were dumb enough to have it be based on codes. When you gift something. Now, if you can point to me a fucking like online store other than this one at this point that uses fucking codes to gift things to an account, like find it for me and point it out because I want to know just to have examples. Because what fucking storefront in the past like 5 to 10 years for gaming and like gifting things doesn't just send it to an account and that's it? There's no code. You just fucking have it on your account.
yeah.
Right.
And when you go to gift it, the whole point, the rationale too that people bought was like, oh well, they don't want you like buying something that you already own that someone right like because you could gift someone a mount that they already own. Just make it so that the site goes, oh, you're trying to gift this thing to them. They already own that. You can't do that.
Right, right.
Gift it to someone else, or you're not buying it. Like, or you can't check out. Like, you can't check out with this because they already own it. Not to mention, you can also buy plenty of other things and gift it to people that they just don't need and already have. And you can just have dupes of it that are practically worthless anyway.
Right.
So, fuck that. Because that was really stupid, and it's destroyed a lot of like community events and rewards and shit for people to gift.
Right. Okay. Well, again, thank you for your shout out call out. Toast. What about you?
My shout out. I'm gonna shout out Toku no Guild for putting all your budget in the scenes that matter.
Yeah. Okay.
AKA the boob reveal scenes. Yeah, you know one. Did you know 110 centimeters is bigger than Tsunade? I didn't care for that, but when I heard it, I was like, neat.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so it's like,
your
thanks for putting all your Sakuga into those scenes.
all right, and your
Yeah.
shout out?
What?
Call it.
My call out?
Oh, I thought that was your okay. Never mind. Okay, your call out. Then.
I'm gonna call out. I love. Should I say it? I don't think I should.
What?
Yeah, I'll say it. I love the Streamy Awards.
Yeah.
I love those awards.
What
Okay.
about
I
them?
love seeing your favorite streamers get together and fucking
Again,
Jerk each other off?
yeah.
I love it when the VTuber category is the same 2 years in a row. Plus
Oh,
one.
you're talking about the V Shoujo thing or whatever, right?
I mean,
Except -1 because Zentria opted out for obviously a good reason.
Well, to be fair,
I mean, none of them can show up, right? Like,
I mean, they
Like,
No,
can.
they'll
none
show
of
up in
them-
like
show
in the
up.
virtual.
Well,
Yeah,
Code
they'll
Miko
show up in
can.
like virtual. Yeah.
but like,
Miko
yeah,
can, and I think is there another one on there that could?
They could show up on the screen. It doesn't really.
Yeah, they can
don't
show
have to
up
show
on
I
up
screen.
in
Yeah, they
person.
can have it.
That's
They can
fine.
have a
That's
get
digital
okay.
that, but
message, but it's like,
honestly, like
but
I
like
feel
the
like
Streamy
streamies
Awards
aren't even
are
gonna fucking do that. Like I feel like they're so
Maybe.
fucking lazy.
They
don't
showed
do
up.
it.
No, they had all of them when they were doing the awards last time. They had all of them on screen. So like
Alright.
Nyanners and Iron Mouse and Veve were there on screen
Oh, okay.
for like the winner is, and they were all on screen at the same time.
Right. But still, it's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the streamies are basically just a fucking like jerk off con at this point. So it's like,
They've always been. Well, it's like
Well,
okay, they're gonna be on YouTube, but guess what? Those are all Twitch streamers. So I don't know. Maybe you should get
Yeah,
YouTube
I mean,
streamers.
yeah. Well, again, that would require them to like want to do more than like, either hang out with a bunch of people and like actually pay attention to trends and shit, and not just have an award show where they get to fucking drink.
Where's Pippa? I want Phase Connect to show up. I want Pippa to scream slurs at me
Pippa's not
in
exactly
Minecraft.
advertiser friendly, so
in Minecraft.
But yeah, anyways, thank you very much.
But yeah,
Toast.
my shout out. I love VTuber drama in general. It's so petty and stupid.
it's really sad.
But yeah, anyways, thank you, Toast. Shout out call out. And I guess my shout out call out. Shout out again goes to kind of what I mentioned that during the intro, sort of, me going back into the Korean VTubers, and also
Who's your favorite Korean VTuber, Spy? I don't think you told us.
I don't really have a
I only watch Ban, Hara, and Sephira because they speak English.
I mean, they don't even speak English that well, but I mean, that's not really that's neither here nor there. But
They speak good enough to collab with the other Niji ENs. That's good enough for me.
what was I gonna say? I don't really have a.
You say you like Korean VTubers, but you won't name one. That's kind of sus, Fire. Are you
Who's
hiding?
your
Are you
favorite
hiding it?
Korean?
My favorite Korean period, like including my family, of course, right? It's like
No family allowed. Not even
Oh, the
yourself.
family
Yeah,
alive.
Not even yourself,
it's too
Fire.
biased. You have to be objective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I also include the North Koreans into this conversation, right?
If you
Yeah.
want.
But
My favorite
but
Korean is Gong-yu.
yeah.
Gong-yu. 'Cause he was in
uh,
Squid Game.
yeah. Wasn't he? He was also in Train to Busan, right?
No, I've
Yeah,
never
but
heard of that movie.
but why does that matter?
Yeah, he was in Squid Game. He was the dude who was giving out Squid Game cards.
Yeah. But anyways,
Who's the squid?
Yeah.
the thing is, it's also in. I guess if I had to pick a specific like person who kind of started from VTubers, so the reason why I want to make that distinction is because a lot of Korean community people, even before like I guess Japanese people did it kind of too, but not to the extent that Korean people did. But it's like the avatars that Japanese
The
like
movie?
streamers use. Yeah, the movie. Like the 2D avatars that like Japanese streamers use, right? Like that they kind of draw like avatars of themselves, right?
Oh,
Like anime
yeah.
avatars. Yeah. Um those are much more of a thing in Korea. Like in Japan, you'll have like one or two of those like avatars and they'll kind of use that for like the header, like the Twitter or whatever. In Korea, it's like that becomes part of their persona. Like people will use it, they will hire like editors and like animators and stuff like that to draw those characters in like various like art and like use it as part of their merchandise, like all of this stuff, right? So there's an actual like difference between the people who use that sort of like general like 2D avatar, 2D persona kind of thing, and like people who are legitimately what I would consider virtual YouTubers, right? They actually have the virtual avatar and that's like the moving avatar and that's their kind of persona in a sense, right? Um so 99% of those like VTubers are oftentimes from that era of like the 2D persona. So that's why I kind of hesitate to like call a lot of them like VTubers necessarily because they didn't really start their activities from that and even their virtual avatars are kind of like
So they're
natural
flesh
extensions.
tubers before they
No,
got
they're not. They're
digitized?
not. That's the thing. They're not flesh tubers because flesh tubers would be implying that they actually use like their cameras and like kind of showed up and used their like human body, like their physical bodies as part of the content, right? But most of them really didn't, right? They kind of use their again the 2D persona avatars, which is completely different because they're not even like turning on their cams. So, um, I think there's like one VTuber that kind of started off as a VTuber. There's like some others like Meme and like some other people that are like there's this like one like cat themed VTuber that's like that I liked recently. And then there's one really famous VTuber that like initially
Orneko?
kind of started off as like a 2D person, but like immediately like kind of rode the VTuber wave early. She's called like Radiu or something like that. But in general, I'm not really like I don't know. Like the thing is like I like the people that are in those VTuber avatars, but again, I've never really been into I think the people who are like, whoa, VTuber new model, wow, the 3D streams and everything. I think the people who are into that are honestly pretty cringe. And I really kind of try to focus on like what kind of general like, like comedic content and stuff like that they're selling me. And so I don't really necessarily remember a lot of their names, but it's kind of like a general like, oh, what kind of funny clips do they have and stuff like that. I don't really
So
buy
you're
into
so you're a dirty clip watcher, huh?
it. Yes, I've forever been a dirty clip watcher. I don't really do a lot of streams and stuff, but yeah. Anyways, that's my shout out and my call out. I feel like I had a call out, a good call out, but I forget what it was exactly. Oh, it was as Slade in chat was like, I really can't tell the difference between 2D and 3D feature. And I don't think it. I honestly, again, this is more of a personal opinion, and I'm not pushing this necessarily onto people. But my opinion is that avatars, like doing like any sort of like real focus on the virtual avatars themselves are dangerous. Like even the 2D avatars themselves are dangerous. Why? Because although people are like, oh, those are just, pretend avatars, what those avatars, anime avatars do is it puts a subconscious like sort of push into the viewer's minds that the other side, the streamer, could be cute or similar to what the anime avatar is. And that's a problem because, again, it creates a sort of like similar gap, right?
I mean,
It's
it's
like,
a very it's very easy to like people are going to develop parasocial relationships regardless, but like if you have the cute anime avatar on the screen,
yeah, that's the
like
thing. It's like,
it's like you're going to get a lot more of those, I
it's
think.
like, it's like, this is how you can tell, right? Because it's like, people, if you ask people like straight up, like, oh, do you think a person looks like that anime avatar? They'll be like, of course not. But then what'll happen is
But they
they'll keep.
still identify the streamer with that like avatar. Like
Yeah,
they
because the what I'm saying is the reason why you know that is because they, like, a lot of people, a lot of these, like, I want to say kids, right? Or like kind of these more ignorant people, right? Will keep bugging the streamer, like if they have like a cute, like it's like a cute like female avatar streamer or whatever, right? They'll keep bugging the streamer. It's like, oh, you're cute, right? You're like you're pretty, right? Like why don't you show us, you do like a cam stream for once or whatever, right? Because what is that even question even about? It's because they're assuming, right? That girl, the female streamer behind it, is all pretty and stuff, right? And where does that assumption even come from? Well, part of it starts from the avatar, right? Because else, like, why would you assume anything, right?
yeah.
So, I think that the having the avatar in itself and having any sort of focus on the avatar itself is dangerous. And my personal philosophy has always been the avatar should only be serving as a mask and nothing else. And the mask helps, you know, people not be as afraid of harassment, of whatever, right? Female people, streamers being harassed and like being like, oh, you don't look like a cam girl model. Oh, I'm gonna follow you. It avoids people, female streamers having to deal with that, and that's a good thing. But the more there's a focus, yeah, our post is like, oh no, the kids don't realize the quote unquote female streamers are 30-year-old. But that's like, or I mean, like the example is like,
That's
again,
that's not a lot.
that's a voice changer thing. But it's like
No,
the
it's not even that. It's that superstition's been long outdated. If you don't have if you're opposite of the gender that you portray, you'll get outed really quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
voice changers are very easy to tell, but it's like, um, the bigger, the more realistic example, again, it's like somebody has like a really pretty or like a really cool like female avatar, right? But then like their real picture might, they might be a very regular, maybe a little bit homely looking, Japanese girl, and suddenly, boom, just like the gap just like hits them on the door, right? And again, it's just, I don't think that sort of thing should be happening at all. That sort of interaction, that sort of gap creation should be happening at all. But again, that's just my personal opinion on that. So that wasn't even my call out. My call out, God damn it, why do we keep going on to this tangent? But my call out is to the people who support shitty VN localizations. So recently, somebody noted that koi choco is the short abbreviated term for koi to senku to chocolat, or also known as Love, Election, and Chocolates, which is a visual novel by Sprite, which is a defunct company now. They went bankrupt, like how a lot of visual novel studios did. But they were famous for making that. They were famous for making Ao Kana or Ao no Kanata no 4 Rhythm or whatever it was, right? Damn, no Elon Musk shout out call outs. Well, Elon Musk is shout out to Elon Musk for being the genius chief engineer he is, but
It's a warrior of free speech.
Yeah, people were like, oh Jesus. Anyways, he fires everybody, and he can handle everything, right? Because he's a
Yeah,
genius.
for sure.
Um, but what was I saying? Yeah, calls to people who were like, "Oh, Koi Choco is getting translated. Whoa, I love that anime. I love." Like honestly, that anime was so bad. That series was so fucking bad. I hate it. My homies all hate Koi Choco. Anybody that likes Koi Choco anime is a fucking piece of shit loser, like cringe loser who thinks Redo of Healer was the
What
best
the
series
hell?
ever.
Oh, this. Yeah, I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah, Koi Choco. Because it's that thing where it's like even in the anime it went for that pink girl who was the main girl who was like shitty, and then like her route and like the general story of like I mean this is kind of spoilers but nobody cares because it's a shit series anyways, but like the world slash lore of that series had like some like secret election police or like secret school police that like fucked with the main character and did all this stuff, and like one of the girls was part of the secret police but then she became she fell in
That
love with
also
the
the
main
premise
character.
of fucking Euphoria.
No, Euphoria was Euphoria was honestly still had a better story than this.
Euphoria is
Hold
more
on,
like
hold on. Which
Euphoria is more like
Euphoria? You have to
Illuminati shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Um,
I was gonna
exactly.
say I
Yeah.
thought that
It's
turned
like,
into like
yeah.
cult fucking.
yeah,
hold on. Which
No, I mean it
Euphoria are we
did.
talking about?
The visual novel
the poop
Euphoria.
one.
The poop one,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about the
Only
music
one.
one.
No,
No.
bro.
But
Oh,
Oh,
then
yeah,
never talk about that.
that's
That's
euphonium.
euphonium.
Whoops. Oops.
Euphonium. What the fuck are you? Euphonia is a completely different word, too.
Euphoria, euphonium, they're pretty alike.
Bro, when's the
Spire.
crossover?
I
That's what I'm
think
saying.
it's-
When's the
Yeah.
But yeah,
collab?
yeah, exactly. But yeah, Koi Choco was
Oh,
really
which
shitty, and the fact that anybody is celebrating its localization, fucking, they should be locked away, by the same secret police. But yeah,
near which episode was the poop episode? So I can skip it again. Was it
I didn't watch the
3?
fucking OVAs, bro.
wait, there were OVAs?
Yes, dude.
Oh,
What?
what the fuck?
Shit.
Really?
So what? You guys didn't know this entire time?
What?
No, we only played the visual novel, Toast.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
Why would we
we
go
played the
on
VN, dude.
afterwards and
Yeah,
then
after
yeah,
playing the
exactly.
VN, you
Yeah.
were like, you know what? I really want more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
You
want
I know.
more.
I
Yeah,
know. There's
exactly.
like 5 episodes.
Yeah, I think it goes. I think there's an episode for each like route.
Yeah, because there were like
Yeah.
5 girls, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter. But yeah. So callouts to the people who want shitty visual novels to be localized. Fucking stop supporting any anime that suits your fucking cringe ass tastes, and start supporting freaking August visual novels. August visual novels need translation. They have been translated for like 8 billion years. You
Hey
dumb
man,
motherfuckers.
we
God
Spire.
damn it.
We just got Tsukihime, and we're getting Mahotsuka no Yoru. They
Oh, it's
don't
good.
have
Yeah,
room
after
for
that
anything
stray.
else.
That is true. Yeah,
But
we don't
yeah,
have. We all we can do is we have to translate shitty fucking Sprite visual novels, and we have to translate shitty fucking Ubisoft visual novels and stuff like that.
we
But
also got a
anyways,
key visual novels
I
being
mean,
translated too.
Mahoyome is getting an official translation, right? So
Yeah, it's in
yeah,
December.
Maoyoru, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
December and the movie.
Yes. But yeah.
But yeah, Spire.
Anyways,
If they want their visual novels to be better, they should do what Fate did, but in reverse.
what is that?
Fate was a good visual novel, but wouldn't sell because back then you needed some spicy scenes for it to sell. But yeah, now they're do fine without them. So what they should do is the reverse stuff.
You mean go viral? Well, what are you
They
talking
they
about?
they
What is the
should
reverse?
they should write a good visual novel, but add in scenes
that's
instead of the
literally
other way
what they
around.
did in Fate. What do you mean?
Yeah,
A reverse though.
that's.
They had no scene. They had scenes, right? Take them out.
The original Fate had sex scenes though. That's why they're in there. It's because you couldn't
Yeah.
like no visual novel back then would sell without sex scenes.
So yeah, so they should do the opposite. They should
What do
a
you
nu-
mean?
What is the
Write
opposite?
a
Are you
game,
saying
but
they
with
should?
good world
Are you
building.
saying they should just make a good visual novel for Head? Like
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah,
want
no, I agree. They should make a good visual novel. No,
I mean, yeah,
that's-
they
want-
should do that, but
I
like,
want a Nuki game, but with Fate and above level action scenes. Like Mega. Like
yeah,
like
I
Mega
like how
Fate.
Toast like went through there's like Koops to tell me that they should make a good visual novel, which like I 100% agree with. By the way, like I'm perfectly for that. But I'm like, wait, what is? I'm like sitting here like, what is the reverse Fate process? This sounds like something like innovative, but it's just it's just
huh?
make a good
You
visual
know,
novel. lol.
I think they should make a visual novel that's like Taimanin, but instead
it's not shitty.
instead they remove all the sex and all of the ninjas and all of the monsters, and instead they add in servants, and it's like a holy grail war, and they should call it Fate, I think.
Yeah, they should do the thing with like time in it, but then like they remove all like the
But then
bad story
but then
parts of
not do
it.
that.
Yeah, remove all of like the bad story
Remove
parts
all
and like the
the
parts that people don't like,
Shitty parts,
and then like
like, add
add a
good
good
part.
part.
I think that would work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys get it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree. They should make a good visual novel. But yeah,
I mean,
my call out.
I'm still on the, I'm going to argue this forever that what's the new game again? Time in an Arena or something?
Action time in it?
Action Time in
Well,
it? Yeah.
there's Action Taimanin and there's RPGX.
It still needs something, you know. It's good and all, but without
Yes,
the scenes,
sex.
it's those designs, they're missing something. You know, it's like almost there. But well, I mean, if you want the scenes, you can find them.
But yeah, anyways, that was my call out. Pretty much.
I
Just
think they need to
call-
clean up their image.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put more clothes on everyone.
Yeah.
Just make them all
a nice sweater.
Yeah. But yeah, my call out again was to people who are supporting shitty VNs to be localized. So fuck you guys. This is why we get like a billion Nekoparas every fucking year, or like the what was that fucking like Western series that keeps getting like X and then Sakura, whatever it was, right? Or Sakura.
What was the
Is
last
that
one?
it?
Was it Sakura Ghost? Is it
I don't even fucking know at this point.
Sakura?
Yeah.
Was it Sakura Halloween? I don't.
Maybe I
Probably
don't
fucking
know.
Halloween.
But yeah, this is the fucking reason why we get like a
I
billion
was
of
right.
those, and then like a billion Nekoparas, and like a billion shitty Grisaya spin-offs every year because of you
There you go.
fucking nerds
was right.
who pick shitty VNs. So call outs to them. Anyways, that was it for my shout out call outs, and I guess the corner in general. I apologize very much for the tangents. But yeah, we are finally done with this episode. And remember, again, after this, we're going to have probably 2 more episodes. Yeah, we're going to have 2 more episodes probably. And then we're going to have 2 episodes for our awards show as well as our winter preview show. So we can kind of go into the January season swinging. And probably then after that, we'll be able to hit our stride with our first review of the winter season in mid-January. So that should all line up pretty well. We're going to have 2 more reviews of the fall season here, though, after this. So watch out for those. And if you do like what we do, we stream our recording of the podcast every other Saturday over at twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast. That's with the numeral 4, where we talk about the latest and greatest in Japanese animation, anime, light novels, manga, visual novels, web novels, so much more. So check our recording of the podcast out here, as well as while watching us here. So you can click the follow button to see when we stream and when we post stuff, as well as on our YouTube channels, on YouTube VODs of the podcast. So whichever format you desire, follow us here, follow us there. Social media, 4PlayerAnimecast is our Twitter handle, again with a numeral 4, as well as on Facebook, 4PlayerAnimecast. So follow us there for our updates and more information. So check us out here, check us out there, and as always, we'll see you next time.